Chapter 1, Fatherhood? What's so heavy? A little out of breath. Suddenly, Lin Xian realized that it was not good and hurriedly opened his eyes. Only to see a stunningly beautiful woman with a delicate figure, delicate features, fair skin, black and beautiful hair scattered randomly was lying on Lin Xian's body, and those thin lips were as delicate as rose petals, so that people couldn't help but want to fiercely kiss a mouthful. What's the situation? Why am I sleeping with a woman? This is Li Mengyao? The pure schoolgirl of Qinghai University? Lin Xian recalled yesterday's dormitory party. I do not know which son of a bitch proposed to go to the bar to consume, but also the whole scene. He paid the bill. So Lin Xian, who was not capable of drinking, quickly got drunk, and vaguely remembered that a woman threw herself into his embrace. Hiss. Drinking and losing one's virginity, ah. Lin Xian had to lament. Right at this moment, the eyes of the stunning woman in his arms gently stirred, and a pair of large eyes decorated with elegance by long eyelashes slowly opened. The four eyes faced each other. It was awkward. This was followed by a scream from the woman, and Li Mengyao sat up in a panic, staring angrily at Lin Xian. Seeing that Lin Xian was still staring at her all the time, Li Mengyao then realized that she was annoyed and grabbed a pillow and threw it at Lin Xian. You're still looking. Quickly turn around, no looking. Only then did Lin Xian come back to his senses from the indescribable picture he had just seen, and his nosebleed almost spewed out. Okay, I won't look. I'll be responsible for you. Li Mengyao quickly picked up her own clothes, flustered and dressed neatly before walking out of the room without looking back. Not a single word was left for Lin Xian. This is leaving? Forget it, they're all adults. Lin Xian still wanted to explain, but unfortunately the other party didn't give him a chance. So he got up and cleaned up, but found that the bedsheet had a touch of blood red that was particularly conspicuous. 2 months later. June 2024, Qinghai City People's Hospital. Please ask for number 66, Lin Xian, to medical room number 6. The relentless hospital repeater rang out. Only a man with a height of 182 centimeters, great and slender, and handsome look stood up and slowly walked forward. The small nurse on the side looked like she was staring straight in the eyes and gently touched another small nurse with her arm. You see, there is a big handsome man. Hey, quickly sneak a cell phone to take a picture. Wow, indeed too handsome, you cover me, I secretly shoot. Do you want to get in touch with him? The white and tender handsome guy. Go together, said the two little nurses, walking to Lin Xian. Although the whispering of the two nurses was already very low, it was still heard by Lin Xian, but he was already accustomed to it. The university had not been less public. Confession, the whole thing was very embarrassing for him. Hello, may I add a contact? Lin Xian looked at the two little nurses with a pair of bright and deep eyes and smiled. Sorry, I like men. Saying that, Lin Xian bypassed the two small nurses and quickly walked into medical room number 6. Hello, young man, where are you physically uncomfortable? A middle-aged man in a white coat with a Mediterranean hairstyle looked at Lin Xian. Hello, doctor, I've been feeling a bit of pain in my liver lately. Let me take your pulse. Okay. Lin Xian obediently stretched his arm over, and the doctor began to take his pulse, but then frowned and sighed softly. Alas! Lin Xian's heart was shaken. No way, could it be that he is suffering from some kind of terminal disease? If I had known, I wouldn't have stayed up late playing games recently. Doctor, why are you sighing? Is there something wrong? The doctor rubbed his eyes and said. No, I'm just tired from work. Young man, you must have stayed up too late lately and didn't pay attention to rest to cause the liver pain. Yes, I've been sleeping late lately and I always feel weak. I'll prescribe a few pairs of Chinese herbs. Just pay attention to your work and rest, and take the medicine on time. Young people shouldn't stay up too late, it's not good for your health. Okay, thank you, doctor. Saying goodbye to the doctor, Lin Xian took the medicine list and went to the medicine window. In his heart, he thought that the project he had recently taken over was not a little too much, and during the day he had been knocking on the code to write the program, and at night, those 3 good sons in the dormitory shouted one after another. Dad, the canyon is taking me to fly tonight. Dad, I want to be super god today. Dad, I want to get a big score. If you win, you're a good father. If you lose, you're a dog. As the strongest king, Lin Xian naturally had to spoil his son. That's why he spends his evenings galloping around Summoner's Canyon, taking the whole field with him. It seems that in the future, he will have to take on fewer projects. After all, his son and his dog's life are more important. Passing by the obstetrics and gynecology department, Lin Xian unintentionally glanced at it. Suddenly, a strange yet familiar figure appeared in Lin Xian's field of vision. Li Mengyao was wearing a cream-colored dress with white canvas shoes, a golden height of 168 centimeters, a head of shiny black hair draped over her shoulders like a waterfall, her face slightly reddish while looking at the medical checkup sheet in her hands with a stunned face. It's her? How did she appear in the obstetrics and gynecology department? Could it be that? Lin Xian recalled that night 2 months ago and felt that something big was wrong, rushing forward. Only to see that the B ultrasound report was clearly written, 8 weeks pregnant. Li Mengyao covered her pink delicate lips and murmured. How could it be, pregnant in one go? Obviously, the stunned Li Mengyao didn't notice Lin Xian. Apparently, the stunned Li Mengyao hadn't noticed Lin Xian. Lin Xian asked with a shocked face. Ah? It's you! Li Mengyao was first startled and her body involuntarily leaned back a little. After 2 months, that face was still impressive and unforgettable. Immediately afterward, aggression surged through her heart, tears welling up in her eyes as she cried in a low voice. Lin Xian couldn't see a girl shedding tears in front of him. At the same time, many people in the hospital looked at this place and couldn't help but sigh, one more scummy guy. Lin Xian already felt that everyone was looking at him with the eyes of a monkey. That you don't cry so that everyone thinks that I bullied you. Lin Xian instantly panicked. Li Mengyao's tears fell like rain, her eyes were red, and her hands were clenched tightly together. You are bullying me. This child is yours. I'm happy to be a father. A shot in the arm? Lin Xian was shocked. Li Mengyao continued to cry in a low voice when suddenly a strange voice echoed in Lin Xian's mind. Ding, the Divine Milkman system is linking. Link successful. Congratulations to the host for activating the Divine Milkman system. There is no need to doubt that the child in front of you is your masterpiece. And it's still a dragon in Phoenix child. Congratulations to the host for activating the Divine Nurturer system for the first time and receiving a newcomer's gift package. Rewarded with 100,000 yuan of childcare startup funds. Please check. Rewarded with a book of pregnancy knowledge, please check it out. Reward for 100% enhancement of human attributes, please check. Chapter 2 Paternity Test. System? What is a system? Lin Xian, who had never read a novel in tomato, naturally didn't know what a system was. Ding dong. Lin Xian opened his cell phone to see that Alipay had arrived at 100,000 yuan. Immediately afterward, the world's most complete pregnancy knowledge suddenly sprang into Lin Xian's brain. Lin Xian was already an excellent pregnancy expert. Wait, the body seems to be a bit off as well, an invisible force surges into the body, like it's been opened up. His body was filled with power. The current him could knock down a cow with one punch. This seems to be true. It is possible that Alipay to 100,000 yuan is a setup by others, but the pregnancy knowledge book and the enhancement of the body cannot be fooled. How did such a good system fall into my lap? Could it be that I am the chosen one? Over here, Lin Xian was still complacent. Li Mengyao saw Lin Xian frowning tightly and not saying anything, and choked. Do you not believe it? If you don't believe me, you can do a paternity test. Only then did Lin Xian come to his senses, looking at the schoolgirl in front of him who was crying. Then he took out a pack of tissues from his pocket and handed it over. That you don't cry first, wipe your tears first. I'm all for one, if it's mine, I'll be responsible to the end. Although Lin Xian marveled at this magical system, he wasn't 100% sure that the schoolgirl was pregnant with his child. There were many receivers these days. Lin Xian's firm reply made Li Mengyao freeze for a moment. Raising that petite jade hand, she took the tissue and gently wiped her tears. Okay, we'll go now. After 3 long hours of waiting, the doctor announced unhurriedly. Mr. Lin, the match between you and Ms. Li's baby is as high as 99.99%. Confirming paternity. So young and already ready to become parents, young people nowadays are really open-minded. The doctor couldn't help but lament. Yet why come for a paternity test? Could it be? The doctor looked at Lin Xian with a strange gaze. Lin Xian couldn't help but let out a cold sweat as he pretended to be calm and held the identification report in his hands. Finished. I'm in big trouble. I'm really a father. Lin Xian turned back to look at Li Mengyao, whose eyes were red, and felt even more guilty in his heart. Okay, thank you, doctor. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao walked out of the hospital. It was almost 12 noon.
Mengyao, what are you going to do next? Koku. Li Mengyao's stomach made an indisputable sound.
In order to go to the hospital for a checkup in the morning, she hadn't even eaten breakfast.
Li Mengyao clenched her hands together, her face couldn't help but blush. Mengyao, let's find a place to eat first. Li Mengyao nodded her head.
Lin Xian opened his cell phone to call an internet car. In less than 5 minutes, the internet car drove to the entrance of the hospital. Lin Xian very gentlemanly helped Li Mengyao open the car door. After Li Mengyao sat firmly, he carefully closed the car door, then went around to the other side and sat in the car. Master, go to the Peace Hotel.
Junior, had a fight with your girlfriend?
Master looked back at Lin Xian and Li Mengyao sitting in the back row through the rearview mirror and guessed the general idea, so he started the car and couldn't help but smile. Older brother, as a person who has been there, the girlfriend has to be coaxed more. Lin Xian face an awkward. Old brother, you are right, this is not coaxed out to eat. After saying this, he turned his head to look at Li Mengyao. Only to see Li Mengyao's elegant eyes gently blinking, while the pretty head turned out the window, the beautiful face rose a blush. Looking at Li Mengyao, Lin Xian revealed a smile. Arrived, young man, remember to give me a favorable review, haha.
Okay, no problem.
Lin Xian agreed cheerfully. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao got out of the car and quickly walked into the Peace Hotel. This Peace Hotel flavor is very good, delicious and inexpensive. The health situation is also very good. I often come here to eat in 4 years of college. Lin Xian found a window seat and arranged for Li Mengyao to sit down first.
Oh, thank you.
Lin Xian picked up the menu and handed it to Li Mengyao and said with a smile. I'm starving, so feel free to order whatever you want to eat, but you can't eat raw food. Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes blinked, raised her small hand and ticked a few strokes on the menu.
I ordered, you see if you need anything else.
Lin Xian took the menu and glanced at it, sighing that it was no wonder that the schoolgirl had such a good figure and ordered so little when she hadn't eaten breakfast. Hello, we want a tomato beef brisket, shrimp and tofu, fried beef with bell peppers, steamed sea bass, and an egg custard on our side. The waiter took the menu and smiled. Okay, please wait. Lin Xian looked at the churlish Li Mengyao.
Mengyao, I will be responsible. Are you willing to give birth to the child?
Li Mengyao straightened that soft hair.
How are you going to be responsible?
We both haven't graduated yet, we don't have a job, we don't have a stable source of income. Lin Xian is a great god of the School of Computer Science at Jinghai University, who has won the gold medal of the ACM International College Student Programming Competition, and he is also very handsome. Li Mengyao is a major in Chinese language and literature, and she is the recognized school flower of Jinghai University. Both of them are juniors, and they have already been close to graduation. I've been doing part-time jobs from my freshman year to my junior year, and I've won big and small scholarships during my college years, so I've saved up quite a bit of money. In the future, I will also work twice as hard to earn money to give you and the baby a cozy family. Lin Xian smiled and said a lot. His tone was very determined, afraid that Li Mengyao would reject him. Seeing Lin Xian say so much in one breath, Li Mengyao snorted and laughed, her big watery eyes flashing with tenderness.
This is what you said. I'm going to give birth to the baby.
Li Mengyao gently stroked her stomach and revealed a smile. Idiot Lin Xian of course does not know, Li Mengyao from the freshman year onwards fell in love with Lin Xian. Not only handsome appearance, the ability is also very outstanding, otherwise she would not have been the first time the roommate pulled to drink, and then drunkenly pounced on Lin Xian's embrace.
The latter is a paragraph cannot be described in words. Serving food. The waiter is late.
At the dinner table Lin Xian kept giving Li Mengyao dishes, and her little bowl was always full.
After lunch, the two of them took a net car back to Jinghai University. Lin Xian sent Li Mengyao to the dormitory floor and said gently, "It's been hard on you today, go back and rest. Tomorrow I'll take you to the hospital for a full checkup." Li Mengyao's face flashed a trace of happiness. Good.
Lin Xian had a smile on his face and hummed all the way back to the dormitory. Returning to the 622 dormitory, just opening the door, three little heads brushed together and came forward.
Lin Xian, where have you been? Did you go on a date with some schoolgirl? Surprisingly, you didn't call me.
Lin Xian gently touched the heads of his sons with his hand, less prying into the affairs of adults.
Hey, you've got a face, don't you? You've got a face, don't you?
Brothers, take him down together.
A friendly interaction between the dormitories began.
In the afternoon, Lin Xian continued to work on the previous project, completing the delivery ahead of schedule and earning another 10,000 yuan in extra money. Together with the $100,000 given by the system earlier, he already had more than $200,000 in his petty cash. Have to find time to rent a house outside.
Li Mengyao can't stay in the dormitory all the time when she's pregnant, it's ultimately inconvenient.
In the evening, Lin Xian again brought his sons to the Summoner Canyon to rebuke.
5 consecutive knees.
Lin Xian, who was upset, was just about to lie down and rest. Another crisp sound came from the system. Ding Dong detected that the host needs to take the baby for a comprehensive checkup. In order to facilitate the host's travel. Rewarded with a top-of-the-line Xiaomi SU7, which has been parked in the parking lot of Area C of Jinghai University, please check.
Chapter 3. This is cohabitation?
This system is quite humane, it even knows what the host needs at the moment.
Xiaomi SU7? The recently very hot Mashiji? Go to the parking lot tomorrow and take a look.
The next day, Lin Xian woke up and found an exquisite car key on the table, did not think too much, picked up the key and went straight to the school parking lot. Soon, in an inconspicuous corner, Lin Xian found a purple haze-colored Xiaomi SU7. I have to say, the appearance is still very cool, the body lines are smooth, the design is simple and generous, giving people a sense of fashion and technology. The color of purple haze adds a unique charm, worthy of being the king of cost-effective. Lin Xian excitedly opened the car door and sat in the driver's seat. He took out his cell phone in passing and pressed the dialing button.
Hello, Lin Xian? Li Mengyao's voice was soft and gentle, she shouldn't be awake yet. Mengyao, are you awake?
Just woke up. Then later we go to the hospital together to do a pregnancy test. The first 3 months is the most critical period. I will go to the dormitory downstairs to pick you up. Good, then you wait for me for 10 minutes, I'll get ready. Li Mengyao's heart warmed up and she was very happy, showing that Lin Xian still cared a lot about her and the baby in her belly.
Lin Xian directly drove the Xiaomi SU7 to the bottom of Li Mengyao's dormitory.
Along the way, many students took out their cell phones and took pictures of the Xiaomi SU7, although the top version of the Xiaomi SU7 only costs 300,000. But it can't help the face value online, so it also attracted a lot of attention from students. Not long ago, Li Mengyao from the dormitory all the way trotting down, only to see her wearing a light blue dress, waist high a pure color belt, the top of the encrusted with a few crystals, good looking but not lose elegance. When Lin Xian saw it, he hurriedly went forward and pulled Li Mengyao, reminding, slow down, don't fall.
Li Mengyao smiled faintly, it's okay, I'm watching, let you wait a long time.
Lin Xian's eyes stared straight at Li Mengyao, smiled and said, you are really good looking today.
Li Mengyao's small face a red, whispered, what about yesterday? Day than a day good looking. Smooth talker, let's go. Li Mengyao.
Lin Xian brought Li Mengyao to the front of Xiaomi SU7, opened the door and said gently, wife, please get on the car. Li Mengyao's face instantly turned red, and she muttered in a low voice, who is your wife? Nonetheless, she obediently sat into the passenger seat. At this moment, a layer of shy blush rose on her delicate little face, just like a blooming peach blossom.
After Lin Xian sat in the driver's seat, Li Mengyao couldn't help but ask, Lin Xian, did you just buy this car? Yeah, Mengyao, you should have a driver's license, right?
Yes.
Li Mengyao nodded her head. Then this car will be for you to drive in the future, so that it's convenient to travel, and it's good for you and the baby.
No, I'm not familiar with driving. No, I'm not familiar with driving, besides, if I drive away, you won't have a car to drive, it's better for you to drive by yourself.
Li Mengyao gently shook her head.
I have other cars, it's a deal, I'll teach you at that time. After saying that, Lin Xian started the car and drove towards the People's Hospital of Jinghai City. The other car in Lin Xian's mouth was actually the little electric donkey that had accompanied him for more than 3 years. Arriving at the hospital, Lin Xian accompanied Li Mengyao to start the pregnancy test. There was actually no need to do special tests around 8 weeks pregnant. First, an ultrasound was done to see if the size of the gestational sac in the uterine cavity matched the gestational week, and if there were any fetal buds developing and heart tube pulsing in the sac. Then routine tests such as blood routine, urine routine, hepatitis B3 system, blood sugar and liver function were done.
Not long after, the inspection report came out, the embryo development was all normal.
Just as Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were about to leave, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them.
Brother Xian? Why are you here?
Zhou Quan surveyed the two with a curious gaze. Zhou Quan was Lin Xian's roommate, he just happened to come over for a physical examination today, and he didn't expect to meet Lin Xian, and it was still in the obstetrics and gynecology department.
I'll go over there.
Lin Xian smiled at Li Mengyao.
Li Mengyao opened her mouth in a small voice. Quaner, why are you here?
Lin Xian slowly walked towards Zhou Quan.
Good guy, you're hooking up with the schoolgirl behind her back? No wonder you've been running away lately, and now you're still in the hospital's gynecology department, say. Tell me the truth.
Zhou Quan said with a bad smile on his face.
Tonight you guys find a place, my treat, and you have to call sister-in-law. You said see us ruthlessly slaughter you, who let you muffled to do great things. Quickly go and busy yourself, I'll go back and talk to you guys tonight. Before leaving, Zhou Quan shouted to Li Mengyao, who was not far away, goodbye, sister-in-law.
Then he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Lin Xian returned to Li Mengyao's side, only to see that her face couldn't help but blush.
He's my roommate, it's getting late, let's go back. Good. Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes blinked.
Ding dong, detected the host for the first time for the baby to do a pregnancy test.
Reward Golden Bay House A Building 1601 King of a set of various formalities the system has already done for you, you can directly move in.
Ding dong, detected the host gifting Millet Su 7 to Li Mengyao, obtaining the system's hidden rewards. Reward Maybach S680A has been parked in the Golden Bay House parking lot, please check.
Host, as long as you make Li Mengyao and the babies happy, the system will always provide generous rewards.
Lin Xian's mind sounded the system's crisp voice again. The system is also too bullish, right, not to mention rewarding another Maybach S680 luxury car worth more than $3 million. Golden Bay House is also a high-grade neighborhood in Jinghai City, and a set of this king of the building would cost more than $8 million. Lin Xian's net worth has almost reached $10 million, all of a sudden stepped into the rich people. The heart is still very excited. This was also thanks to Li Mengyao. If she hadn't agreed to give birth to the baby, Lin Xian wouldn't have gotten the favor
of the system. Mengyao, let's go.
Lin Xian returned to reality and said to Li Mengyao, who was somewhat sleepy.
It should be that she didn't sleep enough in the morning. Pregnancy is usually a time when you like to sleep.
Lin Xian stretched out his hand and gently took the white small hand, looking at each other with a smile on his face. The first time he held Li Mengyao's small hand, it was soft and tender. Li Mengyao was awakened by the sudden holding of her hand. Her face flushed a blush and at the same time flashed a hint of happiness.
Let's go.
The two of them returned to Xiaomi SU7. Lin Xian started the car, while Li Mengyao directly fell asleep in the car. If Li Mengyao hadn't fallen asleep, she would have realized that Lin Xian had already bypassed Jinghai University and was running wildly, without speeding, all the way through the streets of Jinghai City.
Honorable owners of the Golden Bay Mansion, welcome home.
A crisp voice woke up Li Mengyao.
Where is this? Not in school?
Li Mengyao raised her jade hand and gently rubbed her eyes. Seeing the tall buildings in front of her, she couldn't help but be slightly stunned. This is not a school, it's in the Golden Bay House, our future home. Lin Xian smiled slightly.
Future home? You still bought a house?
Li Mengyao slightly opened her lips wide and said in shock. Yeah, you're pregnant, living in the dormitory all the time definitely won't work, and we're also about to graduate. That's why I bought a set, so it's also convenient for me to take care of you guys on a daily basis.
Lin Xian looked at the other party with a gentle face. That must have cost a lot of money. Where did you get so much money?
Li Mengyao pursed her lips. I forgot to say before, I've been investing since my freshman year, these are all earned from investments. Lin Xian said with a confident face.
So let's find time to move in afterward. Li Mengyao, a pretty face became red. This cohabitation? Chapter 4 Mother Li called. Will this be too fast? This is only the second time to meet on the cohabitation.
Just when Li Mengyao was still thinking, Lin Xian has already parked the car steadily in the parking lot of the district. Lin Xian saw that Li Mengyao was still worried and cute. He couldn't help but reach out and gently pinch her soft white face.
Wife, what are you thinking about that you're so obsessed with?
Lin Xian said with a gentle face.
Who is your wife?
Li Mengyao's small face instantly scarlet at the same time. A hand knocked off the face of the salty pig hand, raised another hand toward Lin Xian's waist soft meat to run, and then twisted with force.
Hiss. Pain, wife, lighten up. You're still screaming.
Li Mengyao made a gesture and wanted to continue to increase her strength. How could Lin Xian give her a chance? A hand grabbed the pink jade hand and smiled.
Stop it, let's go up and look at the house. Li Mengyao's small mouth gently beeped, and only then did she give up.
Two people get off. Li Mengyao quickly found not far away parked a body slender Maybach S680, really is a high-grade neighborhood, a casual look is a luxury car. Lin Xian naturally also saw it, but did not make a sound, reached out and pulled Li Mengyao's small hand, walking towards the elevator entrance. Soon, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao came to the house of the Golden Bay House. This is a set of internal area of 200 square feet of the large flat. The decoration style is a new style of minimalist wind, using gray and white color combination, 5 rooms and 2 halls. Furniture is also with complete. Li Mengyao walked to the wide balcony. A glance is the afterglow of the river scene, for the river to put a layer of golden veil. The June wind blew gently across the young girl's face, making the whole picture cozy and romantic. Seeing such a beautiful picture, Lin Xian finally couldn't help but step forward and reached out his hands to gently hold Li Mengyao in his arms. Li Mengyao was first startled, but didn't struggle. Instead, her delicate face reddened once again and softly asked,
"This house should have cost a lot of money." "Well, more than 8 million.
Lin Xian savored the fragrance of the young girl.
"You buy a car and a house, I can't give anything."
"I feel useless," Li Mengyao murmured with her head down. Lin Xian gently turned Li Mengyao around, looked at her with deep, bright eyes, and said in a firm tone, "Who said it was useless? You and the baby in your belly are the greatest gift.
Honey, it is you who gave me a home.
I will also fight with all my might to protect this home." In the depths of love, Lin Xian looked at the two eyes hazy, imploring Li Mengyao, slowly lowered his head, slowly close to the attractive cherry mouth. Li Mengyao also panicked for a moment. Inner deer began to collide, tightly closed his eyes, let Lin Xian manipulation.
Suddenly, a burst of cell phone ringing interrupted the two.
Li Mengyao instantly regained her senses, gently pushed Lin Xian away, and urgently said, "I'll take a call." Li Mengyao panicked and opened her cell phone. It was her mother Huang Shifang's phone, and pressed the connect button.
"Hello. Yao Yao, what have you been busy with lately?" "Miss Huang Shifang, what have you been busy with lately?"
"Mom, I haven't been busy lately," Li Mengyao explained in a panic.
"Why are you talking in a panic? Are you hiding something from Mom?"
"I know my own baby girl best, I just heard the tone is not right."
"Is someone bullying you?"
"No." Because Lin Xian was so close, he could clearly hear the conversation between the two.
Seeing Li Mengyao's nervous appearance, Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh out loud.
Li Mengyao glared and smoothly raised her jade hand towards Lin Xian's waist and twisted it once again.
Hiss. "Did Yao Yao have a boyfriend?"
Mother Li had already guessed the general situation when she heard a boy's voice next to her daughter.
Well, Li Mengyao had a red face and hesitated. "Good, college is the time to talk about a boyfriend. How is he?"
"He is very good." "Then next week, if you are free, you bring him back. Mom give you a good look." Far away from the daughter of the university suddenly talked about a boyfriend, said not worried about his faults. Li mother has to personally put the gatekeeper to do so.
"I'll ask him later."
"I'll ask him later."
"Good, then I won't bother you anymore."
Hanging up the phone, Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian with fierce eyes.
"It's all your fault. My mom found out."
"Sooner or later, I'm already prepared to have my legs broken," Lin Xian shamelessly said.
"Then will you accompany me back next week?"
Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly together. "We will go back together," stole the person's precious daughter. "Naturally, we have to pay a personal visit."
"Let's prepare to move over tomorrow,"
Lin Xian said with a gentle face. Good. Li Mengyao revealed a sweet smile.
Afterwards, the two of them prepared to drive to the nearby mall for dinner.
When they arrived at the parking lot downstairs, Li Mengyao was ready to take out her car keys, but was stopped by Lin Xian. "Let's park this Xiaomi SU7 in the neighborhood parking lot. Take my car."
"Do you have another car?"
Li Mengyao was puzzled.
"There is no, this one is."
Lin Xian pointed to the Maybach S680 not far away, took out the car key to unlock. The car started. A pair of headlights shone a unique beam of light, like a meteor shower across the general, dazzling, eye-catching.
"This Maybach turns out to be yours."
Li Mengyao slightly opened her lips wide, her big and round almond eyes blinking. Lin Xian held Li Mengyao's small hand and walked to the front of the co-pilot, and after settling down thoughtfully, he sat in the driver's seat, started the car, and drove towards the mall.
Arriving at the destination, Li Mengyao finally couldn't help but ask, You still have something to hide from me?"
"No, didn't I say before that I have other cars to drive?" Lin Xian gently said.
"But I see that this car is as good as new.
I just washed the car yesterday." Lin Xian answered with a firm face. He couldn't say that it was given by the system.
Let's believe you for now."
"I don't like it when people lie to me, especially people who are close to me." Li Mengyao lowered her head and whispered.
"Honey, in the future, I will definitely look for you to discuss things, okay?"
"Well." Because Li Mengyao likes to eat fish, the two of them walked hand in hand into a grilled fish store in the mall. After eating the noon meal, Li Mengyao was already drowsy, and Lin Xian drove her back to the school dormitory, and he himself returned to the doghouse where he had lived in college for more than 3 years.
Children, Daddy is back.
Lin Xian kicked open the front door and smiled.
He's the one who abducted the schoolgirl. Zhou Quan pretended to be angry and pointed at Lin Xian. Good boy, how dare you do something big behind Dad's back? Zhong Zixing chimed in. Tell us the truth and we might treat you lightly,
Chen Jinming said with a thieving smile on his face. Subsequently, Lin Xian was surrounded by 3 more people.
Chapter 5 Star Chef.
Lin Xian truthfully told the whole thing. All of them are brothers who have lived together for almost 4 years, and know their roots, and did not hide it.
Of course the system this matter did not say, the key is that there will be no one to believe.
The situation is such a situation. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders.
I did not hear wrong, right?
Zhong Zixing face shocked. I said how to see you and the schoolgirl in the maternity ward of the People's Hospital. It turned out that already Zhou Quan was equally stunned.
Good guy, you drive a rocket so fast. I talked to my girlfriend for 2 years, did not get to that point. Chen Jingming put one hand on Lin Xian's shoulder and laughed.
First, for me to keep a secret, I do not want to become the public enemy of the whole schoolboys. Tomorrow I and Mengyao is ready to move out to live. Tonight I buy the whole house.
Lin Xian smiled. Less nonsense, get on the number first, I'll kill you tonight.
It's normal for senior students to move out, so the guys didn't ask Lin Xian where he was moving to, thinking he was just looking for a rental house in the neighborhood.
Quanner, you're saving your big move for New Year's Eve. You don't understand, I'm biding my time. At night, dormitory 622 went out en masse.
Zhou Quan just opened his cell phone and was ready to call an online car, but he was stopped by Lin Xian.
We'll drive there.
Where did we get a car?
Zhou Quan was puzzled. I just bought it, you guys stay here and don't move around, I'll be right back.
Just as the 3 of them were still curious about what type of car Lin Xian had bought, a slender Maybach slowly drove up and rolled down the window, revealing a handsome face.
Get in the car. Isn't this a Maybach?
A luxury car of more than $3 million.
Brother Xian, are you so rich? How do I see you stingy and swishy before, deep hiding
The 3 of you are dumbfounded. The family just bought it, so it's convenient to bring the baby in the future. Lin Xian smiled and explained. Subsequently, Lin Xian drove to the restaurant where the university dormitory get-togethers often go. You're here, quickly sit down, left a private room for you.
You're about to graduate from college, right? The boss's wife warmly entertained. Yes, you can come often even after graduation.
Zhou Quan smiled.
Don't forget, I'll give you a discount.
The boss's wife smiled and said. The flavors of this restaurant were unique, and the boss's wife often gave Lin Xian and the others discounts, so the dormitory would often come here to get together.
When the boss's wife went out, Lin Xian said to the 3 of them, college is almost over, what are you guys going to do next?
I have already signed up for the civil service exam, joined the public examination army, and become a small civil servant in the future.
Zhou Quan firmly said.
My girlfriend and I have bailed out of graduate school, and will still be at Jinghai University in the future.
Chen Jingming smiled.
I was trying to prepare to start a business, but unfortunately there is no platform and funds. It is better to go to the enterprise first.
Zhong Zixing helplessly said. Brother Xian, what about you? What are you going to do after graduation? Zhou Quan looked at Lin Xian. First full-time with children.
Lin Xian said with a smile on his face.
You really damn again in this Riverside. Zhou Quan spat.
In fact, Lin Xian initially wanted to start a business with Zhong Zixing. After all, the two are the #1 gods in the School of Computer Science at Jinghai University. But plans can't keep up with changes, and right now Lin Xian just wants to take care of Li Mengyao and the little baby in his belly with all his heart.
We can only wait for the opportunity in the future. Let's eat. The 4 of them gobbled it up.
The next day, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao made an appointment to move their luggage to the Golden Bay Mansion together at 10 o'clock in the morning. Lin Xian drove the Maybach slowly towards the women's dormitory and soon saw a familiar figure under the dormitory building. Today, Li Mengyao wore a solid color shirt with a denim skirt that looked fresh and pleasant, like a cool breeze in the morning, refreshing.
Wife really looks so good in everything she wears, huh?
Why is there a girl next to her? She was tall, with delicate features, highlighting a cold beauty, and her sharp eyes revealed a hint of hostility. Lin Xian opened the car door and quickly walked to Li Mengyao's side, gently holding her small hand with a gentle face.
I said to wait for me to arrive and then call you down, isn't it a long wait?
Li Mengyao's small face slightly reddened. No, we also just came down.
By the way, this is my roommate Lu Yusen, she insisted on following along. Hello, I'm Lin Xian, I'm Li Mengyao's husband.
Lin Xian smiled.
Are you the one who abducted my Yao Yao? Seeing Lin Xian and Li Mengyao interlocked, some angry.
Lu Yusen saw that Lin Xian was really handsome and drove a Maybach, and thought that the family conditions should be pretty good, but nowadays a lot of rich second-generation people are very philandering, and he himself, as Yao Yao's BFF, must keep a good eye on them.
Yes, Yao Yao will be handed over to me in the future.
Lin Xian said with a firm face.
You want to get Yao Yao, you have to go through me first. Don't you want Yao Yao to move there?
I'm going to personally go and see if you can take care of Yao Yao.
After Lu Yusen finished speaking, she pulled Yao Yao's suitcase and headed for the car.
Lin Xian had a helpless look on his face, holding Li Mengyao's hand and following behind. This time Li Mengyao didn't sit in the passenger side, but sat in the back row with Lu Yusen. The car started slowly, and in a short while, it arrived at the entrance of the Golden Bay Mansion. Lu Yusen looked at the gate in front of her with a surprised face. Golden Bay Mansion is a famous upscale neighborhood in Jinghai City, with a beautiful environment, located in a busy area, and a beautiful view of the river. Although Lin Xian's strength is really good, it's not clear how it is for Yao Yao. Will he be fond of the old and the new? Soon after, Lin Xian parked the car, and moved all the luggage into the house.
Ding dong, detected that the host is moving for the baby for the first time.
In order for the host to take better care of the baby in the future, a 5-star cooking skill book is rewarded. Please check. Instantly, all kinds of culinary knowledge from all over the world flooded into Lin Xian's brain, and now Lin Xian was the most all-around 5-star chef. In fact, Lin Xian has never wanted Li Mengyao to eat outside food. After all, she is pregnant. In case the outside is not clean, what if it affects the baby?
This 5-star cooking skill came at a really good time.
It's also almost mealtime, so I'll show my hand at noon.
Honey, you and your girlfriend stay home for a while, I'll go to the market and buy some food. What would you like to eat?
Lin Xian smiled.
You can still cook?
Lu Yusen had a questioning look on her face.
Nowadays there are really few men who can cook. I can do it all, I like everything you do. A trace of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face.
Yao Yao, I am still here. Lu Yusen glanced at Li Mengyao breathlessly and said immediately after, I want sweet and sour pork ribs, boiled pork slices, stewed beef brisket with potatoes and braised fish.
Good, I'll be right back.
Lin Xian put on his shoes and prepared to go out. Suddenly, a petite figure broke into Lin Xian's arms, accompanied by a light fragrance.
Come back earlier.
Li Mengyao lowered her head and hugged Lin Xian tightly with both hands.
Good wife.
Lin Xian reached out and gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair. Afterwards, Li Mengyao let go of her hands and ran back to her room with a red face.
Chapter 6 Li Mengyao's family.
What smells so bad? It turns out to be the sour smell of being in love.
Lu Yusen looked at what just happened with a disdainful face. Uxin, stop it. Li Mengyao's small face was red.
I say Yao Yao, why are you so white? Living with Lin Xian so soon?
You're the school beauty of Jinghai University, a lone man and woman in the same room. What if he treats you badly?
No, he won't. He treats me well. He's always taken care of me, and I've liked Lin Xian for a long time.
Li Mengyao mumbled. Sigh, you love brain.
That can't be so fast. Ah, Yao Yao, are you hiding something from me?
Lu Yusen stared at Li Mengyao.
Li Mengyao stared at her. Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly together, stammered to explain with a red face. Her eyes didn't dare to look directly at the other party.
You're lying, say it or not, or I'm going to do something bad. Lu Yusen looked on with a thieving smile.
Li Mengyao and Lu Yusen have known each other for almost 4 years. As a good girlfriend, a glance saw that Li Mengyao was lying.
Ha 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 ha, don't stop, it tickles.
Lu Yusen pounced on Li Mengyao. Her hands were on the other's waist, tickling her constantly.
Say no, say. I say, ha ha ha.
Li Mengyao had no choice but to surrender. She was most afraid of tickling. Li Mengyao wiped the tears that came out of the corner of her eyes from laughing while she said shyly.
Actually, I'm pregnant. Ha! I didn't hear it wrong.
Lu Yusen was shocked and her mouth was open. It's already been more than 2 months. Subsequently, Li Mengyao told Lu Yusen what happened.
So it seems that Lin Xian is quite responsible. But I can remind you that the two of you are living together, so hold. Lin Xian 1T be like this. Who made you look like a flower? Maybe one day he will be beastly what to do. No at 1T Li Mengyao's small face instantly scarlet. At this time, the sound of the door opening came from the doorway, and Lin Xian walked in with a large bag. You're back. Li Mengyao quickly stepped in front of Lin Xian and reached out to take the bag. I'll take care of it. What are you two chatting about? Your faces are so red. Lin Xian gently pinched Li Mengyao's pretty face with his hand. I won't tell you. Li Mengyao's mouth gently pouted, a face of arrogance. Then I'm going to cook first, soon. Lin Xian had no choice but to walk into the kitchen and start cooking. Worthy of the rewards given by the system, looking at these ingredients, there is a corresponding practice in the mind, no matter whether it is fried and roasted and boiled, or steamed and stewed and fried and simmered, all good at everything. This suite given by the system, the furniture is also complete, and they are all big names. Not long after, a fragrance wafted from the kitchen, like an invisible hand, pulling Li Mengyao and Lu Yusen involuntarily close. The dishes are served. The table was filled with colorful and fragrant dishes by Lin Xian. Wow, this is too delicious, right? Simply 5-star chef ah. Lu Yusen took a piece of beef brisket and stuffed it into her mouth. She couldn't help but marvel. Li Mengyao also took small bites at the side. Yao, you'll be so happy in the future, having a chef by your side every day. Li Mengyao also didn't expect Lin Xian's cooking to reach the level of a chef, her face overflowing with happiness. Lin Xian took a taste. The taste was mellow, the aroma was rich, every bite was intoxicating. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully completing a delicious meal for Li Mengyao and the babies. Reward cash 500,000 yuan, at the same time trigger 6 times the probability of the storm. Reward cash 3 million yuan, has been transferred to the host's bank card through formal and legal means, please check. The system's voice came again in Lin Xian's mind. The system was as bullish as ever, and the reward was $3 million at the drop of a hat. After lunch, Lin Xian sent Lu Yusen back to school. Lin Xian drove quietly and glanced at Lu Yusen sitting in the back row through the rearview mirror. I say, what are you staring at me all the time for? Lin Xian helplessly said. When are you guys going to get married? Yao is pregnant with your child, she has to give a name. You know all about it? Lin Xian was a bit surprised. Of course, Yao and I are good girlfriends who talk about everything. Lu Yusen has a smug look on her face. We're going to go back to Mengyao's hometown together next week, and when we get the consent of our mother-in-law, we'll get married. Lin Xian said in a firm tone. Good, Yao will be handed over to you first. Yao's family is not very good. Her father died early due to a car accident, leaving only their mother and daughter, so Yao is very insecure. These she has not mentioned to me. Lin Xian said with heartache. Don't look at her usual soft and weak look, but she is actually very strong inside and sometimes very stubborn. Since she's decided to follow you, treat her well. If you dare to bully Yao, I won't let you go. Lu Yusen waved her small pink fist. I know that saying more is not as good as actually doing it. I will definitely not fail Mengyao, you can supervise me at any time. After delivering Lu Yusen safely, Lin Xian immediately returned to Golden Bay House. I'm back. There was no response. Lin Xian walked into the house and found that Li Mengyao was lying on the sofa asleep, thinking that she must have been waiting for Lin Xian to come back and ended up falling asleep in a daze. At this time, Li Mengyao had already changed into a white nightgown, revealing her charming long legs. Lin Xian carefully walked to the front of the sofa, squatted down and scrutinized the sleeping beauty. Her body was slightly curled up, her eyes were tightly closed, her eyelashes were like butterfly wings, gently fluttering, and the corners of her mouth were slightly upturned, as if she was having a sweet dream. Thinking of Li Mengyao's tragic childhood experiences, the sorrows of both mother and daughter, Lin Xian's heart tingled. I will be a good husband, Mengyao. Lin Xian said gently. Li Mengyao let out a tiny sound as if she heard it. Lin Xian gently picked up Li Mengyao across his waist and slowly walked towards the master bedroom. Li Mengyao had a beautiful dream. In the dream she and Lin Xian walked in the marriage hall, the two embraced each other and kissed passionately. Li Mengyao woke up from her sleep already around 5 p.m, there was no way, pregnancy was really sleepy. She remembers that she seemed to have fallen asleep on the sofa, but as soon as she opened her eyes and realized that she was in bed, her face flushed red and she scrambled to get up and open the door to her room. At this time, Lin Xian was in the computer room, sitting in front of the computer, his fingers splitting on the keyboard, not knowing what he was doing. Lin Xian, what are you doing?
Li Mengyao's voice carried a hint of hoarseness, as if she was still immersed in a sweet dream.
Honey, you're awake?
I'm doing a part-time job. Lin Xian quickly stepped in front of Li Mengyao and said with a gentle face.
Then did I disturb you?
Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes blinked gently.
You don't disturb me at all times. Are you hungry? What do you want to eat at night?
Lin Xian's eyes couldn't hide his favor.
Anything is fine, I'm not picky.
Li Mengyao stretched out her hands and pampered herself. Lin Xian gently held Li Mengyao in his arms. Her body exudes a unique fragrance, not strong but long-lasting, like the serene atmosphere in the valley.
Going shopping at the mall at night? Lin Xian asked. Why do you suddenly want to go shopping?
Li Mengyao face puzzled. According to Reason is also a girl initiative shopping, boys initiative is really rare.
I don't have anything to buy. I don't have anything to buy.
Go, you will know, very important things.
Good. Li Mengyao's bright smile made people's heartstrings tremble. Chapter 7 Shopping at the Mall.
In the evening, Lin Xian put earth chicken, shiitake mushrooms, ginger and other ingredients into a pot and stewed them. The freshness of the shiitake mushrooms and the unique aroma of the earth chicken meat blended with each other to make a mellow-flavored shiitake mushroom and earth chicken soup.
Wife, come and try the earth chicken soup I made.
Lin Xian put a small bowl of chicken soup in front of Li Mengyao.
Li Mengyao had a bit of a loss of appetite during her pregnancy and had no appetite for anything.
So Lin Xian made fresh chicken soup, and with the added benefit of a 5-star chef, it directly stimulated Li Mengyao's taste buds. Lin Xian, why are you so skillful at cooking?
Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes blinked as she took small sips.
This has to be blamed on my mom. She always likes to research some new tricks. For example, kiwi mixed rice, dragon fruit fried meat. In short, the cooking skills are not good. Then I studied cooking on my own during my summer and winter vacations. Lin Xian painfully recalled, his mother Zhang Shulan's cooking skills are really not good. So there is really no way, can only open their own small stoves, and over time also learned how to cook, although it is certainly not as good as a 5-star chef, but at least it can be eaten.
Li Mengyao poofed and laughed. You are not allowed to say that, auntie. In the evening, the two drove the Maybach to the annex of a large shopping mall, Golden Bay Plaza.
The Golden Bay Plaza is the commercial center of the Golden Bay district of Jinghai City, with neon flashes, stores, and a bustling dazzle.
Li Mengyao took Lin Xian's arm and walked into Golden Bay Plaza. You haven't said what to buy yet.
Li Mengyao gently pinched Lin Xian's hand. Soon you'll know, it's right in front. Afterwards, the two entered a specialty store for pregnant women's lifestyle products.
Welcome, may I ask what you two need?
The store clerk warmly greeted them.
Hello, may I ask if there's a moisturizing lotion here to prevent stretch marks? Lin Xian asked.
Yes, this one is the most recent hot product. The effect of removing stretch marks is very good, and the cost is very high. The clerk looked at the two young people, and did not come up to recommend the most expensive, otherwise it will directly scare people away. Lin Xian looked at the specific information of the product, frowned, this although the effect of wrinkles is okay, but not the best. There are also these models, although the effect of removing lines is worse, but it is much cheaper than the one just now, it is also good.
The clerk saw Lin Xian frowning and thought that the two of them probably didn't have that much of a budget.
Can trouble you store the most expensive, the effect of the best to bring to see?
Lin Xian smiled and asked the clerk.
Lin Xian smiled and asked the clerk. This is the one, after using it, there won't be a single stretch mark.
The clerk quickly brought it over.
Lin Xian with the System Rewards Pregnancy Knowledge Book, looked at the product information, no spices, no alcohol, no chemical additives and other messy things, to remove lines is indeed the best. Li Mengyao looked at the price and sucked in a mouthful of cool air, the small bottle will be 1,000 yuan. So gently pulled the corner of Lin Xian's coat and whispered, by the previous one, this is too expensive.
It's okay, your husband has money.
You don't want to have stretch marks after giving birth to a child, so use the best. Lin Xian gently pinched Li Mengyao's small hand, said gently.
Hello, trouble list of 5 bottles, thank you.
Okay, please wait, I will pack it for you. The clerk was very happy and sold 5,000 yuan at once. After paying the money, the two of them walked out of the maternity lifestyle store. Lin Xian pulled Li Mengyao to continue walking forward.
Do you want to buy anything else?
Li Mengyao wanted to pull Lin Xian, did not want him to spend money again, the province should save a little. Still want to buy this? Lin Xian pointed to the front with his finger and said with a smile. Li Mengyao looked over and saw that it was a specialty store for maternity clothes.
What are you buying these for?
After the 3rd month of pregnancy, your stomach will start to show, and what you used to wear will not be appropriate.
So come and buy some maternity clothes.
Lin Xian continued to give Li Mengyao the knowledge of pregnancy. How do you even know all this? Li Mengyao listened to the small face emerges a blush.
I've done my homework, for you and the babies.
Lin Xian smiled.
You put your head down, I have something to say to you.
Li Mengyao happily blinked her beautiful eyes and whispered. What words are so careful? Lin Xian obediently bent down. She gently stood on her tiptoes and left a tender kiss on Lin Xian's cheek. Afterwards, she quickly pulled away, her little legs clattering as she walked quickly towards the boutique. A faint smile surfaced on Lin Xian's face, as if the entire world had become beautiful. After picking out a few maternity clothes, Li Mengyao went into the dressing room to try them on. Lin Xian looked across the street and saw a jewelry store. Gauging the time, he quickly ran in.
Welcome.
A tall, fair-looking clerk greeted him.
Hello, may I ask what diamond ring is recommended?
Lin Xian smiled and asked. This is a 1-carat, G-rated proposal ring. Novel appearance design is very popular with young people, as long as 20,000 yuan. Clerk to see Lin Xian is still a college student. Look, must not have too much budget.
This is a novel style, but the level of diamonds is a little lower. May I ask if there is a better one?
Lin Xian asked with a smile. Sir, what is your budget? The shopkeeper was shocked. The clerk was shocked. 500,000.
A student has this much money? It seemed like it might be some rich second generation.
I only earn a few $1,000s a month, so I'm really pissed off. Soon, the clerk took out a new diamond ring. The design of this diamond ring is exquisite cutting technology, crystal clear, like the dewdrops in the morning. Inlaid in the ring is more precious. This 2-carat D-grade rare and pure diamond is a rare and precious proof of the eternity of true love. Grade D is completely colorless, the highest level of color, very rare and precious. The price, exactly $500,000. Lin Xian was instantly blinded. It's true that you get what you pay for. After all, it's worth 500,000. It's almost as much as a suite of rooms in a small county. Okay, thank you, I'll take this one, Lin Xian said while reporting the size that he had measured yesterday after taking advantage of Li Mengyao's sleep to the store clerk. Okay sir, please pay over here, I'll help you pack it up. The clerk was very happy. After completing this big order, he could get a lot of commission. After paying the bill, Lin Xian went back to the maternity clothes store and pretended that nothing had happened. Lin Xian, this looks good. Li Mengyao just walked out and turned around in place. It looks good, my wife looks good in everything she wears. Lin Xian said with a face of appreciation.
Although Li Mengyao's belly is not yet pregnant, she still wears the feeling of a pure beauty.
Humph, saying it is the same as not saying it. Li Mengyao scrutinized the mirror in front of her and bought it after feeling good. The two of them drove back to Golden Bay House after buying the clothes. Back home it was already 10 p.m., and Li Mengyao was already sleepy. I'll go back to my room and go to sleep, good night.
Li Mengyao snorted. Is there a good night kiss?
Lin Xian took the initiative to lean forward and asked gently. No, I've already kissed you today.
Li Mengyao's face instantly turned red, quickly turned around and quickly walked back to her room. Then there will be tomorrow?
Besides. Li Mengyao returned to her room and gently closed the door.
Chapter 8. Can you come over for a moment?
Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully accompanying Li Mengyao in purchasing maternity goods. Rewarded with a luxury store in Golden Bay Plaza, please check. The system's voice came from Lin Xian's mind again. At the same time, the staff of Golden Bay Plaza called. Mr. Lin, hello, I'm the marketing manager of Golden Bay Plaza. The formalities related to the luxury store you purchased at Golden Bay Plaza are ready. When will you be free to come over and check on it? Okay, I'll check on the receipt in a few days. Lin Xian hung up the phone and thought to himself that what time is it now? The staff of Golden Bay Plaza is still working overtime, and now this society is too rolled up. These days Lin Xian took care of Li Mengyao's 3 meals a day as usual. The weather forecast showed that there would be a huge thunderstorm late at night in the Golden Bay area. At this time, after dinner, Lin Xian brought out a plate of Cheerios.
Li Mengyao was
leisurely lying on a lazy chair, looking at the sparkling river while accepting Lin Xian's feeding.
Is it good? Yummy. Hey, let's watch a movie together tonight?
Sure, what kind of movie do you want to watch? I want to watch a horror movie.
Li Mengyao hesitated slightly. A horror movie?
Lin Xian couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Li Mengyao is usually soft and weak. How would she like to watch a horror movie? In the past, I didn't watch horror movies either, it was After I went to college, Yusen often put horror movies in the dormitory, and I liked that kind of tense and stimulating feeling when I watched it.
Li Mengyao explained in a low voice. This niece
can't, the mood and psychological state of pregnancy has an impact on the development of the baby. Watching a horror movie will produce nervous and fearful mood swings, which may be passed on to the baby.
So pick a cozy movie to watch, okay?
Lin Xian gently explained.
Okay, blah. Li Mengyao's small mouth gently pouted. In the end, the two of them chose the movie Faithful Dog.
In fact, there is another important reason for not watching horror movies, is that Lin Xian has been afraid of ghosts since he was a child. When he was small, he was scared by his neighbor's big sister, and once, on the basis of being a few years older than Lin Xian, he insisted on pulling together to watch a horror movie, which caused an indelible trauma in his young mind. The living room has a high-definition projector paired with a 70-inch large screen, a comfortable sofa, a shocking sound effect, and a clear picture quality, which creates an extreme movie-watching experience. After Lin Xian deployed the projector, Li Mengyao took fruits and snacks and quietly leaned next to Lin Xian, watching the movie while feeding Lin Xian. Loyal Dogs tells the story of the deep emotional bond between people and dogs, and reminds us to cherish the people and animals around us, and the love and companionship they give us. As expected, Li Mengyao's eyes blurred with tears after watching the movie, completely immersed in its emotional world. Appropriate crying can help pregnant women release their inner pressure, reduce their psychological burden and ease their emotional tension. As for Lin Xian, he was gently hugging Li Mengyao on the side, and with his other hand, he kept handing out tissues. Although the movie was very moving, Lin Xian didn't have any emotional fluctuations. Crying is not possible to cry, a big man to watch a movie crying, how to behave. After watching the movie, it was already more than 10 p.m., Li Mengyao yawned, raised her hand and gently wrapped it around Lin Xian's neck, slightly raised her head and left a kiss on Lin Xian's face. I'm going to bed, good night kiss. After saying that, he ran back to his room in a huff. Lin Xian can't do anything about this kind of flirting and then running away. Turning off the projector, Lin Xian also returned to his room and prepared to sleep. Rumble. Late at night, the darkness was filled with howling winds, lightning and thunder. A bolt of lightning crossed the sky and torrential rain poured down, pounding the earth. The sleeping Li Mengyao was awakened by a shocking thunder. The sound of thunder was deafening. Li Mengyao was scared and lost her color, trembling and curled up. Li Mengyao had been afraid of thunder since she was a child, although as she grew older, she was not afraid of ordinary small thunder. But now the shocking thunder seemed to be right over the Golden Bay mansion, deafening the ears. Coupled with the fact that she was pregnant, the fear was constantly amplified. On the contrary, although Lin Xian was also awakened by the first loud thunder, he was more of a fan of thunderstorms. It always felt like he slept better with the sound of thunderstorms. Lin Xian was about to go back to huffing and puffing when suddenly his cell phone rang. Who is it, sending a message in the middle of the night? Lin Xian was reluctant, but couldn't resist his curiosity. Opened the cell phone to see that it was Li Mengyao. Lin Xian, can you come over for a moment? Li Mengyao continued to curl up after sending the message. In the past, she would have been able to get through it by gritting her teeth, but now it was different. She thought of Lin Xian. And she was afraid of disturbing Lin Xian's sleep, so after much consideration, she sent a message first to see. Honey, I'm going in. Lin Xian gently knocked on the door, then pushed it open and walked in. When Li Mengyao heard Lin Xian's voice, she quickly jumped down from the bed. Like a frightened bird, she drilled into Lin Xian's embrace and tightly wrapped her arms around his neck. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were afraid of thunder. Lin Xian gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair. Then I'll watch you sleep? Lin Xian looked at Li Mengyao, who was trembling slightly in his arms. We'll sleep together. Li Mengyao's face blushes lightly. There's such a good thing? Lin Xian suddenly wanted to be thankful for the weather tonight. Lin Xian carried Li Mengyao back to the bed. He himself also lay down along with her, and tenderly embraced Li Mengyao in his arms, letting her feel safe enough. Being held by Lin Xian, Li Mengyao wasn't so scared anymore. Instead, she felt very cozy. What followed was the rising temperature of her face. Li Mengyao is shy. Lin Xian looked at the red-faced Li Mengyao and smiled. Not scared now. It's not the first time I've hugged you to sleep. Why are you so shy? The last time was when I was pregnant. Badass Lin Xian, how dare you tease me at this time? Li Mengyao thought more and more angry, raised her hand and pinched Lin Xian's waist. Okay, I was wrong. I won't tease you anymore. I'm just trying to ease your fear. I've cried enough today. Any more crying won't be good for the baby. Are you still scared now? Lin Xian gently coaxed.
I'm not scared anymore. Li Mengyao murmured.
Soon, Li Mengyao went to sleep, but Lin Xian didn't feel so good. This niece was not sleeping honestly. At this time, Lin Xian was incomparably tormented.
Chapter 9. You're going to be a grandmother. The next morning, a phone rang in Li Mengyao's ears. Sleepy-eyed and confused, Li Mengyao picked up her cell phone and pressed the connect button. Hello. Li Mengyao's voice was glutinous.
The face of Lin Mother on the other end of the phone showed a look of shock, and she directly froze. What the hell, calling her son and a woman's voice comes from the other end of the phone.
Who are you? Where is my son, Lin Xian?
Lin Mother asked eagerly.
Lin Xian? Lin Xian is sleeping next to me.
After saying that, Li Mengyao put the cell phone close to Lin Xian's end, and then hugged Lin Xian to continue to huff and puff. Lin Xian was sleeping like a pig because he stayed up late yesterday.
He only left the phone on the other end of the line. Hello? Why is there no one there? Hello? 2 hours passed.
Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes and stretched, finally alive. Looking at Li Mengyao, who was holding herself tightly in her arms, that tantalizing cherry mouth.
Really wanted to take a bite. At this time, Lin Xian's mind came out an angel and a devil.
Angel, people trust you so much, Lin Xian, you can't take advantage of people's danger.
Devil, the child has, kiss a mouth. How, Lin Xian, hard to kiss up.
Lin Xian was in deep thought, both had a point.
Then choose a choice. Sneak kiss Li Mengyao's little face is not too much, right?
Li Mengyao had also secretly kissed Lin Xian's face several times. It was considered a courtesy.
Lin Xian lowered his head and slowly approached Li Mengyao's fluffy face.
Still a few centimeters short, Lin Xian's breathing breath made Li Mengyao's eyebrows quiver gently, and she slowly opened her eyes gradually clearing, revealing a freshness and innocence of just waking up.
What do you want to do?
Li Mengyao regained her senses and softly let out her voice.
I just want to see you up close.
Lin Xian said sheepishly. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian's eyes and then looked down at her own neckline, her small face instantly blushing.
Rascal! Pervert!
Then quickly pulled away and shrunk her head into the quilt, shyly not daring to come out. Lin Xian faced doting. His wife scolded people are gentle and soft.
Cough, do not tease.
Lin Xian hair will stay after preparing to get up. Just Lin Mother called again. Lin Xian did not think too much. Press the connect button.
Hey mom, what's the matter with calling so early in the morning? Bastard, where are you now?
I'm in the dormitory.
Lin
Xian looked at the scene at this time. Think now is not good to explain, can only first lie to deceive the mom.
In the dormitory? Then why was my call answered by a girl? You're not going to break into the girls' dormitory at night, are you? You can really criminal. When the time comes I cannot care about you.
Zhang Shulan said angrily.
Lin
Xian hurriedly turned over his cell phone and saw several calls from Zhang Shulan.
The first of these is connected. It won't be Li Mengyao who receives it.
At this time, Li Mengyao fell asleep again, and pregnant women are really able to sleep.
Mom, I'll explain it to you later.
Lin Xian lowered his voice and hung up the phone. This brat still dares to hang up on me, angry with me. Zhang Shulan looked at Lin Zhenghua, who was playing with his cell phone not far away.
Old Lin, if you are fine, go and wash the dishes. Lin Zhenghua innocently looked at a glance. Son provoked you off my what?
Forced by the family status, or helplessly into the kitchen. On the other hand, Lin Xian tiptoed out of the room, opened the first call record on his cell phone, and clicked playback.
Hello? Lin Xian? Lin Xian is asleep next to me. Li Mengyao's sticky voice came.
Bad, Mom must have misunderstood.
But it's time to confess to the family.
It's nothing more than mixed doubles, something that happened a lot when I was a kid. Afterwards, Lin Xian hurriedly dialed back his mom's phone. The kid, wings hard or ass hard, dare to hang up on mom's phone.
Mom, don't be angry, I'm not calling back.
Lin Xian said with a smile on his face.
What happened this morning? Mom, you have to be prepared. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. You kid will not really. Mom, you don't think wrong. How can I do that kind of thing?
Zhang Shulan thought carefully. His own son knows himself, indeed unlikely to do such a thing. I've heard it all before, and I'm sure you'll be happy to hear it. Mom, in fact, there is nothing, is that you want to be a grandmother. I'm not going to be able to do that, but I'm going to be able to do that. Zhang Shulan jumped in shock.
The one who just answered the phone was your daughter-in-law. You bastard boy, how did your father and I teach you before? You got someone else's daughter pregnant out of wedlock, can you afford her? If I hadn't caught you, you'd be hiding it forever, wouldn't you? You're really pissing me off.
Zhang Shulan's hands clenched into fists. She couldn't wait to fly over and beat Lin Xian up.
Mom, don't be angry, isn't it because it's not ready yet?
And I'm going to get married to her and organize a big wedding at that time. Lin Xian hurriedly explained.
I'm not sure where you're staying now, but I can't be in the girls' dormitory, right?
That's certainly not the case. I now live in the Golden Bay House in Jinghai City.
You kid, wait, your father and I will go over in the afternoon, the address sent over. By the way, is there a photo of your daughter-in-law? Send it over as well.
Zhang Shulan angry cannot, although their own retirement does want to be a grandmother, but also not suddenly when, which in anyone cannot stand, must go to the scene to see.
Old Lin, come out. Zhang Shulan shouted to the kitchen.
What is it? The smell of gunpowder is so heavy.
Lin Zhenghua looks innocent.
These 2 days, you and the unit to ask for a leave. Afternoon we go to the city of Jinghai. Why suddenly say leave? How to say that I am also a middle-level leader of the state enterprise unit? It is not good to approve.
Your son has made someone else's daughter pregnant. You are going to be a grandfather, you said to take leave or not? Zhang Shulan glanced at Lin Zhenghua. What happened? What is going on?
After Zhang Shulan explained a flurry of explanations, Lin Zhenghua was furious with veins on his forehead.
This brat, see I do not clean up you, I belted more with a few.
Zhang Shulan at this time to find her good sister in the countryside business, let her hurry to bring a few earth chicken over. Then the two of them began to rummage through the cupboards and pack up their things. On the other hand, Lin Xian is anxious, walking back and forth in the hall, finished, the afternoon to be smoked. At this time, Li Mengyao just pushed open the door of the room, came out, saw Lin Xian anxious appearance.
Lin Xian, what are you doing? Honey, are you awake? Are you hungry?
I'll go make breakfast. Lin Xian saw Li Mengyao and his anxiety instantly dissipated.
A trace of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face. Not long after, the fragrant mushroom thin meat porridge was brought up.
Looking at Li Mengyao drinking it in small bites, Lin Xian's heart was filled with happiness.
Anyway, the rice is cooked, the big deal is to get beat up twice.
One at his own home, and one at his wife's home. That wife, did you receive a phone call this morning?
Did you?
Li Mengyao was drinking kanji while trying to remember. It seems like there was one that said to look for Lin Xian then I. That one was my mom, Lin Xian helplessly said. At this time, Li Mengyao's eyes were wide open, and her cherry mouth was slightly open for a long time, unable to close.
Chapter 10 Don't pull your ears.
Li Mengyao can't even drink the porridge this time, her eyes are shocked and she doesn't know what to do. Lin Xian gently embraced Li Mengyao into his arms and said gently.
Honey, don't be afraid, it's a matter of time.
I was going to tell your mom after I visited them. My parents are also very good with each other, and they can't wait to be happy to see such a beautiful daughter-in-law.
Li Mengyao frowned. I'm still a little nervous. Will your parents think I'm a casual person?
Lin Xian gently played with Li Mengyao's hair, emitting a faint fragrance.
No, they think that I failed you. Right now, they are probably packing up their things on the hoof, preparing to come over to beat me up in the afternoon.
Li Mengyao heard the corner of her mouth slightly raised, like a crescent moon, like nice arc, seems to be less nervous.
Hey, then how did your parents beat you up?
My dad has an ancestral belt, my mom has an ancestral coat hanger. The two of them mixed doubles, or rounds. This time my dad beat up, my mom coaxed, next time my mom beat up, my dad coaxed, the two sang together. Lin Xian painfully recalled. Li Mengyao snorted and laughed, her elegant eyes blinking gently.
That must be because you're too naughty.
Just now, you wanted to play a hooligan on me.
Can a husband kissing his own wife be called playing a hooligan?
Lin Xian shamelessly said.
Not yet, we're not even married.
Li Mengyao's face instantly flushed crimson at the same time, raised her jade hand and gently punched Lin Xian's chest.
Sooner or later.
Li Mengyao blankly glanced at him, then fell into hesitation.
I used to have a happy family too.
But then when I was 8 years old, my dad left us early due to an accidental car accident. At that time, I was still young and naively thought that my dad had gone on a long trip. When we saw each other again later, it was a black and white picture on a tombstone. After that, my mom had to support the family. She began to work early in the morning and late at night, laboring hard every day. When I was young, I was often teased at school that I was a child without a father. Li Mengyao told many childhood sorrows, tears fell like rain, eyes red, hands tightly embraced Lin Xian. Lin Xian took a tissue and gently dried his tears, then hugged Li Mengyao tightly. Don't cry, I'll be there in the future. I will give you and the babies a wonderful home in the future. Lin Xian said in a firm tone. I believe in you. Do you still want to drink the porridge? No, I'm still a bit sleepy, carry me back to bed. Li Mengyao revealed a sweet smile. Little sloth. Lin Xian then effortlessly picked her up gently like a princess. Hiss. Don't bite, I was wrong. Lin Xian carried Li Mengyao back to her room, and after he came out, he looked at the cute teeth marks that appeared on his arm and smiled happily. Ding dong, the brat sent a message. Zhang Shulan opened it and was instantly captivated. Li Mengyao in the photo, wearing a white nightgown, her features were exquisite, fresh and charming, and her cherry mouth was biting into a Cheerios, giving people a feeling of comfort and serenity. That's right, this was a photo that Lin Xian had secretly taken. Even without beauty and makeup, it still looked like a fresh beauty. This daughter-in-law is strangely good-looking. Old Lin, look at this. Zhang Shulan couldn't wait to hand it to Lin Zhenghua. We're driving, we'll see it when we get there. I'm telling you, when you see your daughter-in-law, don't make a stinky face, okay? If you want to beat up your son, go out and settle it, don't scare your daughter-in-law. I know, I'll do whatever you say. Lin Zhenghua helpless, it seems that the family status is going to decline again. Lin Xian's hometown is in Yunhai City, a 3-hour drive from Jinghai City. So for a while, Lin Xian can still survive for 3 hours. But what should come is still coming. In the afternoon, Zhang Shulan and Lin Zhenghua arrived in front of the Golden Bay Mansion and were also attracted by the beautiful scenery of the neighborhood. This neighborhood is also strange to look at. Zhang Shulan compared to her own neighborhood, although she lives in a neighborhood in Yunhai City is already considered good, but compared to the Golden Bay Mansion in front of her, the gap is not a half a star. This brat, renting a house to rent such an expensive place, do not know that it costs a lot of money to get married and have children? One more reason to beat up Lin Xian. Then angrily dialed the phone. Hey, brat, we're here, hurry down and pick us up. Come. Lin Xian said helplessly. This is only 2.5 hours. It was only 2.5 hours. Lin Xian hurriedly put on his shoes and ran to the entrance of the neighborhood to greet the two old men. Soon, Lin Xian saw two familiar figures, familiar faces, angry eyes. Mom and Dad, you come hey, pain, don't pull the ear. Brat, how did I educate you before, when the wind fell on deaf ears is not it? Zhang Shulan grabbed Lin Xian's ear, because Lin Xian is tall, was forced to pull down. The surrounding people are to eat melon eyes. Look here, the whole Lin Xian very embarrassed. Mom, listen to me slowly explain. Give your son some face in public. Lin Xian wailed in pain, while giving Lin Zhenghua, who was standing next to him, a pleading look. Lin Zhenghua's mouth opened and closed as if he was telling Lin Xian in mute words. I can't do anything about it, and I'm going to have to beat you up later. Lin Xian's face was desperate. Zhang Shulan looked around, which loosened her hand. Let us go up and talk. The three of them then walked towards Lin Xian's house, and Lin Xian told the two old men all about what had happened. Strangely enough, the mom did not show a lot of anger, but it was the dad who was smiling. Then where is my daughter-in-law? Zhang Shulan couldn't wait to ask. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a good deal on this, but I'm sure I'll be able to get a good deal on this. Then let her continue to sleep, I'll go to stew a chicken soup for my daughter-in-law to replenish nutrition. Zhang Shulan got up and prepared to go to the kitchen. The father and son were shocked. Mom, I will come, you just rest. Lin Xian hurriedly stopped it. I don't know what to say, but I don't know what to say. Of course I will, now your daughter-in-law only eats my cooking, you may not be used to it. Taking out her daughter-in-law's trick, Zhang Shulan can't do anything about it. Lin Xian then dove into the kitchen and started on the poor hens. Not long after, a rich aroma of chicken soup wafted out of the room. At this time, Li Mengyao also just woke up from her nap and came to the hall smelling the aroma. Lin Xian, did you stew chicken soup again? It smells so good. Li Mengyao had just finished speaking when she saw Zhang Shulan and Lin Zhenghua on the side, looking at her with a gentle face. From a happy face instantly turned into shyness, then panicked and ran back to the room. Chapter 11 Uncle, don't hit Lin Xian. Zhang Shulan saw her daughter-in-law running away, and punched Lin Zhenghua next to her, but of course didn't use any force.
Look at your playful face. You see, you scared your daughter-in-law away.
Zhang Shulan glared, then walked into the kitchen. Lin Zhenghua, a little aggrieved, thought, before it is not you say do not put a stink face of it and you are also in the playful awe. Of course, Lin Zhenghua did not dare to say it, can only silently endure, when the time to take the son out of the gas on the line. Son, you go to see my daughter-in-law, just came out seems to be your father scared away. Zhang Shulan said to Lin Xian.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. Mengyao woke up? I'm on my way.
This chicken soup is almost ready, Mom, you don't have to process it anymore.
Lin Xian walked away while turning back and instructed. I know, you go.
Zhang Shulan knew that her son disliked her cooking skills and glared back.
Lin Xian walked into the room and closed the door.
Only to see Li Mengyao wearing a light purple ruffled dress, like an elf coming out of a sea of flowers, exuding a charming and fresh temperament. The light makeup on her face also made her look even more fresh and pleasant.
Does it look good?
Seeing Lin Xian staring straight at herself, Li Mengyao shyly asked. Very pretty, just like a little fairy. Lin Xian walked to Li Mengyao's side and took her soft little hand.
Just slept confused, forgetting that your parents are coming. I'm dressed this way, will they like it?
Li Mengyao pursed her lips, still a little nervous. There is no parent under the sky who would not like a little fairy like you. Lin Xian squeezed the little hand.
Just you can talk. Li Mengyao blinked.
Her beautiful eyes.
Come on, let's go out together, don't worry, I'm here.
Well. Then the two held hands and walked out of the room together, with Lin Xian in front and Li Mengyao close behind.
Mom and Dad, let me introduce you, this is Li Mengyao, the child's mother. Mengyao, this is my mom and dad. Lin Xian introduced. Uncle and Auntie, how are you? Li Mengyao greeted nervously.
Zhang Shulan and Lin Guozheng looked at the daughter-in-law in front of them. The real person was even more beautiful than the photo. They marveled at the fact that they were worthy of being their own sons, their vision was good.
Mengyao, come and have a seat, Auntie will have a good chat with you.
Zhang Shulan warmly greeted her, pushed Lin Xian to one side, and pulled Li Mengyao to sit down.
Mengyao, where are you from? Stillwater City.
Seeing that Li Mengyao was still very formal, she thought that it might be Lin Zhenghua who was on the sidelines and then glared.
Old Lin, don't you have something to say to your precious son? You guys go out and discuss.
Lin Zhenghua and Lin Xian left helplessly.
We already know about you guys, it's that brat of mine who has wronged you, just now I have taught him a hard lesson, here we, the Lin family, apologize to you.
Then Zhang Shulan pulled out a string of bracelets from her bosom. The gemstones on this bracelet were beautifully inlaid, shining brightly, and the unique bracelet design was like a work of art. We don't have any heirloom bracelets or anything like that, this is a bracelet I bought on a trip a few years ago to give to my daughter-in-law in the future, so I'll give it to you as a gift. Auntie, I can't take such an expensive thing, Li Mengyao quickly refused.
Take it, this is what that kid owes you.
Don't worry, if this kid dares to treat you badly, just tell me, I will definitely help you teach him a lesson. When Li Mengyao heard lesson, she suddenly thought, Lin Xian and his dad went out, could it be? Li Mengyao's face changed greatly, then quickly ran out the door. Just in time to see Lin Zhenghua hand holding a belt, ready to whip Lin Xian motionless ready to obediently be punished. Li Mengyao quickly pounced on Lin Xian, hugged him tightly and looked straight at Lin Zhenghua.
Uncle, don't hit Lin Xian.
Lin Xian wasn't at fault, it was the two of us who were careless that caused this. Lin Xian has been taking care of me for this period of time and has also taken the blame.
I really like Lin Xian.
Lin Xian also didn't expect that Li Mengyao, who had always been soft and weak, would have such a brave moment, or to protect herself.
Alas!
Lin Xian, you yourself say what to do. Lin Zhenghua sighed helplessly. I will take the responsibility and spend my whole life accompanying you and taking care of you. Lin Xian said in a firm tone.
I believe in you. Li Mengyao shyly lowered her head.
Okay, don't all stand outside. Mengyao must be hungry, come in, have a bowl of chicken soup to supplement your nutrition. Zhang Shulan came out to round up the situation and pulled Li Mengyao back into the dining room of the house. Lin Xian and Lin Zhenghua followed. Lin Xian went back to the kitchen and fried a few home-cooked dishes.
The family finally ate dinner. Brat, when did your cooking skills become so good? Zhang Shulan and Lin Zhenghua were both shocked, the flavor was too delicious.
However, Zhang Shulan didn't forget to give Li Mengyao dishes all the time.
Li Mengyao's bowl was never empty.
After dinner, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao to wander around the neighborhood as usual. Zheng Shulan and Lin Zhenghua stayed at home.
Honey, were you scared just now? Lin Xian held Li Mengyao's hand and asked. Well, a little bit. Actually, my parents are quite nice. Since I was little, they've taught me to be upright, not to cause trouble, and not to get into bad habits. This time they should be both angry and happy, angry because I bullied you, and happy because they have such a good-looking daughter-in-law who is also a grandparent. So it's only natural that they want to beat me up. Then I should have known that I wouldn't protect you and let you get beaten up. The corners of Li Mengyao's mouth lifted slightly as she smiled happily.
On the other side, Zheng Shulan and Lin Zhenghua stayed at home.
Old Lin, getting ready to be a grandfather, shouldn't you show it? Zheng Shulan asked.
Well, let Lin Xian check out the house when the time comes, Lin Zhenghua said.
This is all we can do. This loser, do not save a little, rent such a big house, do not know that it takes a lot of money to have a baby?
Zhang Shulan said that she wanted to beat Lin Xian again, but thought that her daughter-in-law would not allow it. After Lin Xian and Li Mengyao came back at night, Li Mengyao was already sleepy, so she went back to her room early to rest. After Lin Xian helped mom and dad clean up their room, he was pulled over by Zhang Shulan. Son, you're going to take a look at the house in Jinghai City in a few days. Now that Mengyao is pregnant, you have to hurry up and buy a good house to prepare for the wedding. Here's $1 million, it's what your father and I saved up to give you a daughter-in-law, take it. He said and took out a bank card and shoved it to Lin Xian.
Mom, no need to buy, I already have a house. Lin Xian returned it. Where did you get the house, isn't it rented? This house is what I bought.
Lin Xian said with a smug face. Zhang Shulan froze for a moment, then slapped Lin Xian's head.
Brat, where did you get so much money? I've been studying investment since college, and I've been working part-time as a designer for the past few years, so I've saved up some money. It's better to leave this money to CC.
Lin Xian explained, covering his head. Zhang Shulan had never denied that her son was smart. Come to think of it, her son was quite reliable except for this matter, so she believed him. That's fine, if you don't have enough money, just tell mom.
Zhang Shulan took back the bank card. By the way, does Sissy know about this?
Lin Xian also has a younger sister who was in high school at the first middle school in Yunhai City.
Don't know yet, she goes to school. Well, it's not too early now, your father and I are going back to our room to rest.
Seeing that the time was already more than 10 p.m., Lin Xian was also ready to go back to his room to rest. Opened the door of the room, but found a stunning figure lying on the bed.
Chapter 12 Luxury Restaurant. Lin Xian went out to look at the room again, did not go wrong. Could it be that this niece?
Lin Xian doesn't care so much. Gently climbed onto the bed and lay next to Li Mengyao. Lin Xian looked at the sleeping Li Mengyao and thought to himself what delicious food he should make for his wife tomorrow. Make a red date and silver fungus soup. Red dates and silver fungus can nourish the face.
Then make a shrimp fried broccoli, supplement protein, vitamins, and folic acid. And then
Suddenly, Li Mengyao turned around, a pair of jade hands gently hugged Lin Xian, beautiful eyelashes gently fluttering, the corner of the mouth slightly raised.
Lin Xian looked at Li Mengyao pretending to be asleep and let out a light laugh. Honey, are you asleep?
Lin Xian gently pinched the small face with his hand.
Ignoring it, however, Li Mengyao's eyebrows slightly furrowed. Ah! Ouch! Big rascal!
Li Mengyao rolled over, only leaving Lin Xian with a nice-looking back of her head. Lin Xian hemmed and hawed, came forward and hugged Li Mengyao, tenderly saying,
Honey, why did you run to my room today? Li Mengyao's small face red, haughty said. This is my room, is you went wrong.
Lin Xian knows that Li Mengyao face thin, full of favor said.
Well, it is my mistake. Then in the future I am wrong, okay. Wife is always right.
Li Mengyao heard not to go, and chagrined turned around, raised his pink fist, gently pounded Lin Xian.
Don't say it. Good, don't say it.
Lin Xian hugged Li Mengyao into his arms.
We'll go to your house the day after tomorrow and pay a visit to mother-in-law, okay?
Well, Li Mengyao hasn't seen her mom for a while either.
Right, what does your mom like? I have to prepare some meet and greet gifts. Lin Xian asked. No need, if you buy some fruits there then, she'll be happy. Li Mengyao gently shook her head. That won't do, let's go to the mall again tomorrow. Good.
Li Mengyao snorted, obviously already sleepy, and took advantage of Lin Xian's inattention to sneak a kiss on his face.
Good night, stupid Lin Xian.
Afterwards, she turned around and started huffing and puffing.
Again, he ran away after teasing.
Lin Xian was completely helpless to take her. "I'll clean you up later,"
Lin Xian whispered.
Then he hugged Li Mengyao and gradually fell asleep. The next day, after lunch, Zhang Shulan and Lin Zhenghua prepared to return to Yunhai City. Before leaving, Zhang Shulan pulled Li Mengyao over and muttered something, laughing while doing so. Lin Xian is very curious, it won't he say the ugly things about his own childhood. Lin Xian was about to come over to listen, and the two stopped talking. "Son, take good care of Mengyao.
Call home if anything happens. Hurry up and find time to go to Mengyao's house to apologize,"
Zhang Shulan instructed. The more she looks at this daughter-in-law, the more she likes her.
"I know, Mom. We will go tomorrow, have a safe trip," Lin Xian said.
After bidding farewell to the two old men, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned home. Lin Xian curiously asked,
"What did my mom say to you? You look like you're smiling all the time."
Li Mengyao's mouth contained a smile, and she hummed lightly.
"Don't tell you."
Lin Xian purposely made a stern face and lifted her chin, making her look at herself.
"Say it or not, if not I'm going to resort to means."
Li Mengyao narrowed her beautiful eyes.
"Just don't say it, let's see what you can do to me."
Lin Xian suddenly performed a princess hug, holding Li Mengyao firmly and slowly walking towards the room.
What are you doing? Quickly put me down."
Li Mengyao panically stretched out her hands to hug Lin Xian tightly, leaving only her two little legs to gently resist. Lin Xian carried Li Mengyao back to her room and gently placed her back on the bed. Looking at that delicate face, Lin Xian lowered his head and kissed Li Mengyao's forehead, and tenderly said,
"Take a nap, and when you wake up we'll go to the mall."
Li Mengyao, because just a kiss, shyly lowered his head, as an ostrich.
After waking up, the two drove the Maybach to Golden Bay Plaza.
Lin Xian first bought a lot of healthcare products for Li Mengyao's mom, and later bought her some bags for middle-aged people and some jewelry. Li Mengyao saw Lin Xian buying more and more. She finally couldn't help herself and grabbed Lin Xian's hand.
"Lin Xian, don't buy it, there's already enough." Lin Xian suddenly had a bad idea and pretended to say.
"No, I still want to buy more, this isn't enough." Li Mengyao puffed up her cheeks like a puffer fish.
"If you buy more, I'll get angry. If you don't buy it, I won't buy it if you give me a kiss,"
Lin Xian shamelessly said. "Who let you run away after sleeping and flirting
with me yesterday? Go back and say, there are a lot of people here."
Li Mengyao has a red face and her head is turned to the side.
Lin Xian pulled up Li Mengyao's small hand, said happily, "Take you to see a place."
Lin Xian picked up his cell phone and dialed the market manager of Golden Bay Plaza.
"Hello manager, I purchased one of the luxury stores in Golden Bay Plaza earlier, can I come over to check it out now?" "Is this Mr. Lin?" The other party returned. "Yes, I'm on the first floor of Golden Bay Plaza right now." "Okay, you wait a moment, I will come down to pick you up right away."
Not long after, a man in a suit with a fair appearance jogged over.
"Hello, Mr. Lin, I am the market manager of Golden Bay Plaza, my name is Chun." "Hello, Manager Chen, can you take us to see the store now?" Lin Xian asked.
"Of course you can, this way please." Manager Chen waved his hand. Li Mengyao was again slightly stunned. When did Lin Xian buy a store again, or in Golden Bay Plaza, a place where every inch of land is gold? Then the two came to the 5th floor of Golden Bay Plaza, where there were all sorts of restaurants. Manager Chen brought the two of them to the largest store on the 5th floor. Worthy of the system's rewards, every single thing was a fine product. This store is 150 square feet, according to the price of 30,000 square feet here, 4.5 million.
"Mr. Lin, you can just sign here."
Manager Chen took out a document and handed it to Lin Xian.
Lin Xian read it carefully and signed his name. "Okay, thank you Mr. Lin, if there are any follow-up questions, feel free to call me." "Okay, thank you Manager Chen." After Manager Chen left, Lin Xian asked Li Mengyao, who was in a daze. "Honey, what do you think is good to do in this store?"
"Definitely a restaurant, and it's so big." Li Mengyao used her small hands to gesture.
"Then, let's make it a fish restaurant." "Why is it a fish cuisine restaurant?" Li Mengyao's face was puzzled.
Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's small hand and said,
"Because my wife likes to eat fish the most."
Chapter 13. Wife, you still bite ah. Li Mengyao's mind was surrounded by a wave of warmth and emotion, so moved that she couldn't speak. Then she gently wrapped her arms around Lin Xian's waist and leaned her head against his chest, feeling his warmth. After the two of them had been cuddling for a while, they drove back to the Golden Bay mansion. Lin Xian returned to the kitchen to prepare dinner, and Li Mengyao also wanted to help. She was gently pushed out by Lin Xian, saying that pregnant women couldn't smell the fumes. Unable to do anything else, Li Mengyao had to sit on the sofa and watch a drama. Ding dong, Lu Yusin sent a message. My big Yao Yao, how have you been these past few days? Did Lin Xian bully you? It's been a long time since I've seen my Yao Yao cry emoji. Li Mengyao smiled brightly, picked up her cell phone, took a picture of Lin Xian who was busy in the kitchen, took another picture of herself on the sofa brushing the drama, and sent it to Lu Yusin, little faggot dog emoji. No way, this is all going to be fed dog food. Yao Yao, does love really go away, little faggot dog spitting blood emoji. I still love you, big XIN XIN. XAN XAN is just fine, don't add a big word in front of it, 50-meter big knife emoji. Ha 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 ha, if you want to look for me you can just come ah. Really? Your husband won't mind it after all, disturbing your two-person world, thief smile emoji. It is still not a husband, Li Mengyao, although she has been listening to Lin Xian wife called, a mention of the husband is still a little shy. Still shy, it was eat and dry wipe clean. Okay, don't say it, I'm ready to eat. See, Lin Xian brought out 2 bowls of shiitake mushroom slider chicken casserole rice, a plate of steamed cinnamon fish, and a plate of tomato and egg soup. Honey, get ready to eat. Li Mengyao walked up and jumped into Lin Xian's embrace, murmuring. Hard work. It warms her heart to have such a considerate husband in the future. After the two of them had gotten tired of each other for a while, they started eating dinner. Lin Xian, Uxin said she wants to come here to find me, is that okay? Li Mengyao asked while taking small bites. Of course it's okay, you don't need to ask me about this matter, you're the mistress here. Lin Xian said gently. Good. Li Mengyao smiled sweetly again. Seeing Li Mengyao eating with relish, Lin Xian felt incomparably happy. So far, Lin Xian had never been clear on why Li Mengyao liked to eat fish. But Li Mengyao didn't take the initiative to say, so he wouldn't bother asking, as long as he was happy now. As for that luxury store used for fish cuisine restaurant, currently Lin Xian still didn't have a clue. First of all, it has to be decorated, and after the decoration, you need to find a reliable store manager, and you also need to recruit a chef. Yourself with the system of 5-star chef is able to be a chef in the restaurant, but now his wife is pregnant, and cannot get out of the way. Forget it, take one step at a time, anyway, it is the system for nothing, tomorrow first past the mother-in-law that say. The two of them had a full dinner, Lin Xian brushed the dishes and then hacked with his roommate, Li Mengyao watched the drama in the living room. At 10 p.m. or so, Lin Xian prepared a cup of hot milk and put it in front of the bed, pulling up Li Mengyao who was looking at her cell phone. Honey, drink a cup of milk. After a cup of milk, the two of them washed up and lay on the bed. Lin Xian plays with Li Mengyao's hair. Honey, do you think we should buy some more bird's nests tomorrow or not? No, there's already enough, my mom really doesn't value them. Li Mengyao burrowed into Lin Xian's arms with a smile on her lips. Are you nervous? Of course I'm nervous, I'm really afraid of being kicked out by my aunt. Lin Xian's face was embarrassed. Now imagine if it was your own daughter who suddenly told you that you were pregnant, and then pointed to a milquetoast college student and said that he was fine. Then Lin Xian was afraid that he would break all of his legs. The current situation seems to be similar. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian's nervous appearance and snorted a laugh. Ha, don't worry, my mom has always been very gentle, besides I will help you. Honey, in the afternoon at Golden Bay Plaza, you said you would give me a kiss. Li Mengyao froze, this transformation is also too fast. Suddenly, Lin Xian felt a warmth on his neck, accompanied by a faint aroma, and mixed with a hint of pain. Honey, you still bite. Lin Xian touched his cheeks that had just been kissed and smiled slightly. I'm going to sleep, good night. Li Mengyao turned her head, not showing Lin Xian the pretty face that was already red. Lin Xian had already gotten used to Li Mengyao's nature of running away after flirting. Afterwards, he gently hugged Li Mengyao from behind and sank into dreamland together. The next morning, after having breakfast, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were ready to depart for Stillwater City. Stillwater City was a small 4th-tier city in the Hai Province, a 4-hour drive from the provincial capital, Jinghai City. And Lin Xian's hometown, Yunhai City, was a 3rd-tier city, so it was only less than a 3-hour drive from Jinghai City. Lin Xian, why don't we drive the Xiaomi Su7? Li Mengyao pulled Lin Xian's hand. Why? Why? Lin Xian was puzzled, he still liked that Maybach. Previously he often in a certain sound brush too. Not in-laws are not hospitable, is that you did not open the Maybach stand is not the standard, is more than 10 years straight up the waist.
Ahem, far away from the ha.
Because I feel that driving a Maybach is a bit too ostentatious, Li Mengyao muttered with a small hand.
What's wrong with being a bit ostentatious?
I went to plead with your mom to agree. Otherwise it will seem that I am too petty. Besides, I have to drive for 4 hours, and it will take 8 hours to go back and forth, and I still have to charge the millet tram, which is a little bit troublesome. I have to rely on this Maybach to straighten my back.
Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's little face.
Okay. Li Mengyao looked to the purple haze-colored Xiaomi SU7 parked on the side. He has not driven it once. Lin Xian saw his wife's thoughts, said with a gentle face. When we come back, you can drive Xiaomi SU7 to find girlfriends for a ride. Li Mengyao revealed a sweet smile. The two came to the parking lot. Lin Xian opened the back seat of the Maybach and said to Li Mengyao, because we have to go on the highway, for safety reasons, wife, you can sit in the back row. Pregnant women with babies are better off not sitting in the passenger seat, especially when traveling at high speeds. After Li Mengyao sat quietly and steadily, Lin Xian went around to the main driver and started the car. The Maybach was like a shining jewel, heading in the direction of Jingshui City.
Chapter 14. Actually, I'm pregnant. As the Maybach was traveling, Lin Xian glanced at Li Mengyao through the rearview mirror.
At this time, Li Mengyao was resting her chin on one hand, quietly looking out the window, her mouth humming a little song from time to time, her face overflowing with a happy smile.
Honey, it's going to be a 4-hour drive, aren't you going to take a nap?
Lin Xian gently asked.
I just woke up in the morning, I'm not sleepy now.
And I'll be able to see my mom soon, so I can't sleep even more. Li Mengyao smiled brightly, her happy eyes bent with laughter.
Then tell me about life in Stillwater City.
Lin Xian wanted to know more about the city where Li Mengyao grew up, and when you like someone, you want to know more about that person's life before. Let me tell you, although this Stillwater City is only a small 4th-tier city, the pace of life is slow and not prosperous. But it is full of strong human feelings, warmth and harmony between neighbors. Also, at night in Stillwater City, the lights are soft, so that people feel a kind of peaceful warmth. My house is in the old city. There is a small park downstairs. I often hid in the park when I was a child. Once my mother couldn't find me and was anxious, but I was later lectured. And also, there is a particularly especially cute civet cat in the small park there. I don't know if it still recognizes me. As soon as I talked about Li Mengyao's hometown, the joy in her eyes flashed, and she shared it with Lin Xian in an endless stream. While Lin Xian was driving, he listened quietly. Perhaps tired of talking, Li Mengyao leaned back in her car seat and quietly fell asleep. 4 hours passed quickly, and Lin Xian drove out of the Jingshui City toll station and pulled over.
Honey, we're here. Lin Xian gently pinched Li Mengyao's soft and tender face.
Li Mengyao rubbed her head. Li Mengyao rubbed her sleepy eyes. Just woke up, she looked a little cute. The city that Li Mengyao was familiar with was in front of her eyes.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that.
Lin Xian said gently.
Not yet, I'll call here. Li Mengyao then took out her cell phone. Hey mom, we're almost there.
As soon as we arrive, mom has already prepared the meal. There's your favorite braised fish. A gentle voice came from the phone.
We
left at 8 in the morning, it's already 12 noon at this point.
We just got off the highway, we will go back now.
Li Mengyao said back. Hanging up the phone, Lin Xian started the car and quickly arrived at Li Mengyao's home. The houses in this old city were a bit old, but people came and went, full of the flavor of life. Li Mengyao's home was a standard 140 square foot small commercial house, not too big and not too small, but living on the 8th floor, climbing the stairs was still a bit tiring. Lin Xian carried 2 large bags of gifts and climbed to the 8th floor with Li Mengyao, and when she saw the familiar door of her home, Li Mengyao took out her key and opened the door.
Mom, I'm back.
A middle-aged woman with a kind face, long eyebrows, and a very beautiful appearance greeted her, a pair of almond eyes as bright as stars. Although time had already left traces on her skin, it did not affect her beauty, but instead, it caused her to exude a unique mature charm. Li Mengyao instantly jumped into Huang Shifang's embrace, mother and daughter too tightly embraced together.
It's good to be back, Yao Yao, have you gained weight recently? Huang Shifang touched Li Mengyao's pretty head and asked happily. No.
Li Mengyao reddened her face and said. At this time, Huang Shifang began to measure Lin Xian with a soft gaze.
Hello auntie, I'm Li Mengyao's boyfriend, my name is Lin Xian. It's my first time meeting you, this is a meeting gift for you, auntie. With that, Lin Xian handed over 2 big bags of gifts. Hello, what else do you bring? Next time you won't be allowed to do that, come on in.
Huang Shifeng took it and said with a smile. Entering Li Mengyao's home, although it was a bit old, the whole home was well organized, clean and tidy, the furniture was neatly arranged, giving people a feeling of comfort and tranquility.
Are you all hungry? Come, prepare to wash your hands for dinner. Huang Shifeng smiled.
On the dining table were fried pork with green peppers, stewed prawns, boiled fish fillets, braised fish and tomato scrambled eggs. All were dishes that Li Mengyao loved to eat.
Xiao Xian, don't be polite, just treat it as your own home. Taste Auntie's handiwork, Huang Shifeng said with a soft face.
Li Mengyao sat on her butt next to Lin Xian at this time and started eating.
Yao, Xiao Xian hasn't even touched his mouth yet, and you're just starting to take a big bite? There are no rules.
Huang Shifeng feigned anger, but her eyes were full of laughter.
Mom, I'm really hungry.
Li Mengyao beamed and said with a haughty face. Lin Xian saw that the mother and daughter had a good relationship and smiled happily, peeling a few prawns for Li Mengyao before starting to eat.
Auntie, your cooking is really delicious. Lin Xian said.
Huang Shifeng's home cooking is not as good as a 5-star chef's, but it is very cozy and has a taste of home.
Eat more if it's good.
Huang Shifeng said gently.
Li Mengyao also gave Lin Xian a few pieces of pancetta and said happily.
Lin Xian, this is delicious, try it.
Thank you, old. Li Mengyao blared and said with a mouthful, my mom is still here.
Lin Xian had to swallow the word wife. When Huang Shifeng saw Lin Xian and Li Mengyao in love, she smiled gently.
How did you guys meet?
Both Lin Xian and Li Mengyao instantly froze and looked at each other. We met at a school party, Li Mengyao said with some panic. Yes, it's like this, at that time I fell in love with Mengyao at first sight, Lin Xian followed suit.
Huang Shifeng looked at the two of them with gentle eyes, sensing that her daughter was a bit flustered, but didn't say anything.
After lunch, Huang Shifeng cleaned up the dishes and washed them in the kitchen. Lin Xian wanted to help but was refused. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao had to go back to the living room and sit quietly.
Li Mengyao held Lin Xian's hand and asked, Lin Xian, are you nervous?
Of course I'm nervous, but we'll have to face it eventually. To be able to marry such a beautiful wife, even if I get beaten up, it's worth it. Lin Xian held back the small pink hand and interlocked his fingers. It's already this time, you're still immodest. Li Mengyao gave a blank look and gently whacked it with her other small hand. My mom has a gentle and generous nature, and she hit people with her hands. After Huang Shifeng took care of the kitchen, she returned to the living room and smiled as she sat across from the two.
What are you two muttering about? Xiao Xian, what are you doing buying so many expensive items, so that auntie can't afford?
Huang Shifeng looked at these healthcare products and jewelry, all of which are brand name, expensive, and estimated to be tens of thousands of dollars.
Auntie, these are a little bit of the first meeting, you just accept it.
Lin Xian said in a firm tone. Huang Shifeng at this time looked at her daughter's nervous appearance, and knew that there must be something.
Yao, are you hiding something from mom? Huang Shifeng still asked with a gentle face.
Li Mengyao hesitated and finally made up her mind.
Mom has something she wants to talk to you about. Say it, Mom is listening. Mom, actually I am pregnant. Chapter 15. Are you such a mom?
Although Huang Shifeng guessed that her daughter was hiding something from her. Maybe she wanted to live with Lin Xian, maybe she wanted to marry Lin Xian, she guessed all of these. Never would she have thought that her own daughter was directly pregnant. Huang Shifeng's eyes widened at this moment, her eyes filled with shock and confusion.
Yao, are you joking with mom?
Li Mengyao lowered her head and said guiltily.
Mom, I'm sorry.
At this time, Lin Xian stood out and said in a firm tone.
Auntie, it's all my fault, I'm the one who got Mengyao pregnant.
Don't worry, I'll take good care of Mengyao.
If you don't feel relieved, just beat me up, I'll let you do whatever you want, Auntie.
Huang Shifeng closed her eyes and frowned. She knew that her daughter wouldn't lie to herself about her pregnancy at this point, but she still couldn't accept it for a moment, her own daughter that she had worked so hard to raise, this was. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao's hands clasped tightly together, it seemed like this would provide invisible strength. After a while, Huang Shifeng opened her eyes with a hint of anger, but her tone was still soft and said.
Yao, you go inside with mom and talk for a while.
Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian with panicked eyes. Lin Xian returned a firm look to give comfort. Afterwards, mother and daughter entered the room and closed the door. Yao, in the end what happened, how do you? Huang Shifeng trembling asked. Lin Xian and I didn't hold back for a moment, Li Mengyao said with slightly reddened eyes. Seeing her daughter ready to cry, Huang Shifang also eased her tone and said gently. Mom is not letting you find a boyfriend, but this is too fast for you. Mom asked you if you like Lin Xian. I like it, Li Mengyao said with a firm face. Huang Shifang helplessly touched her forehead. I believe in my daughter's vision. I see that he is handsome, he is also very polite, he is a good young man. But the matter of him getting you pregnant out of wedlock, I'm still very angry. Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly together and spoke in a small voice. In fact, this matter, I also have a great responsibility. It was me who approached him first. Huang Shifang sat powerless and paralyzed on the bed. Mom, the first time Lin Xian knew I was pregnant, he said he would be responsible. This time he has been taking care of me. I really like Lin Xian. Li Mengyao also sat next to her mother and held her hands tightly. Then did he propose to you? Huang Shifang asked. He said that after getting your consent, he would get married. Li Mengyao's small face was slightly red. It seems that Lin Xian is still very respectful of the opinions of elders. At this time, Lin Xian and Huang Shifang's mind slightly increased some good feelings. At this time in the living room, Lin Xian, nervous forehead straight sweat, pondering how the two went in for so long. Finally aunt will not agree. Just when Lin Xian is still thinking nonsense, mother and daughter came out of the room and sat down on the opposite side of Lin Xian. The difference is that just now Lin Xian and Li Mengyao sat next to each other. At this time it is the mother and daughter sitting next to each other. Huang Shifang looked at Lin Xian and still said in a gentle tone. Lin Xian, Auntie asked you a few questions. Don't worry, Auntie won't beat you, besides I can't beat you with these old bones. Auntie, you ask. Lin Xian sat up straight and said in a firm tone. I already know what happened. You said you want to be responsible for Yao Yao, so how are you going to be responsible? I am ready to obtain your consent, Auntie, and immediately in Mengyao license to marry. We'll also give Mengyao a grand wedding. Then you are ready to live where? I can't keep renting an apartment when I'm pregnant, right? Huang Shifang thinks that if the two of them are still in love, renting a house is not a problem, but now that Li Mengyao is pregnant, she can't live in a rented house even after the baby is born. Auntie, I've already purchased a house, and the one that I'm living in now is the one that I'm living in with Mengyao. I've already bought the house, the one I'm living in now with Mengyao. Look, these are the photos and the real estate certificate. Lin Xian opened his cell phone and handed it to Huang Shifang. Huang Shifang looked at it, although she hadn't been to the big city much, but at a glance she knew that this neighborhood house wasn't cheap. What made her even more surprised was that the real estate license was written in the names of both Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. This made Huang Shifang's favorable impression of Lin Xian rise again, and nowadays many men who buy a house before marriage are reluctant to add the woman's name. Then what are you going to do after graduation? Huang Shifang continued to ask. I have no plans to work now. This period of time I am ready to take care of Mengyao all the time. Wait until the baby is born, Mengyao out of the month, and then make plans. Of course, this period of time I have not been idle. I will do some investment. Lin Xian said. The system is so powerful. Who still works good as a milk daddy does not smell good. Then what do your parents mean? Huang Shifang asked doubtfully. My parents already came to see me and Mengyao a few days ago, and they really like Mengyao. After cleaning me up, they let me rush to find you, Auntie, to make amends and apologize. Lin Xian suddenly stood up at this time, his eyes and tone of voice firmly said. Auntie, please don't worry about leaving your daughter to me. I will definitely take good care of Mengyao. Li Mengyao also stood up and ran to Lin Xian's side. Her small hand gripped Lin Xian tightly and she looked at Huang Shifang with firm eyes. Huang Shifang looked at the two of them and shook her head helplessly. Lin Xian saw his aunt shaking her head, and immediately his heart thumped. Could it be that Auntie doesn't agree? Li Mengyao saw her mother shaking her head, and her eyes began to redden slightly. The raw rice is all cooked, and you guys are in love with each other. Could Auntie still be against it? I just didn't expect to be a grandmother so soon. Huang Shifang looked at the two of them and couldn't help but shake her head, then smiled slightly. Mom! Li Mengyao finally couldn't hold back the redness in her eyes. Thank you, Auntie. Lin Xian thanked her in surprise while taking a tissue and wiping Mengyao's tears. Lin Xian, remember your promise. The two of us, mother and daughter, have suffered a lot since we were small and dependent on each other, so I don't want my daughter to continue to suffer in the future. If I find out that Yao Yao is not doing well, I will definitely find you to settle the score. Huang Shifang changed her previous mildness and said in an unusually firm tone. Good.
Auntie, you can move over and live with us, our place is big enough.
That way you and Mengyao can continue to be together as well. Lin Xian smiled. I'm an old person, so I won't live with you young people. Besides, I've lived in Stillwater City for most of my life. It's not customary for me to go to a big city. I'll be happy if you guys come back often to visit in the future.
Huang Shifang smiled. Well, it's getting late.
Lin Xian, you're tired from driving, hurry back to the house and rest.
Huang Shifang urged.
Li Mengyao went back to the guest room and looked around, saying,
Mom, didn't you clean up the guest room for Lin Xian? Huang Shifang looked at her silly daughter, smiled and said,
Lin Xian is sleeping with you, in your room.
Li Mengyao? You're such a mom? Chapter 16 Old Husband.
Lin Xian walked into Li Mengyao's room, which was warmly and elegantly decorated, with pink walls and soft beds, and shelves filled with all kinds of books, full of the softness of a girl. Li Mengyao revealed a smile. Lin Xian, let's sleep. Lin Xian didn't say a word, changed into pajamas and laid down on the bed. Li Mengyao was so shy that she turned her head. Honey, now that Auntie has agreed, shouldn't you call your husband?
Still. We're not married yet.
I'm going to change my clothes, you turn around. Li Mengyao said with a red face.
Call me husband and I'll turn around.
Lin Xian said playfully.
I'm going to change my clothes. Li Mengyao's voice was mixed with a hint of annoyance while glaring.
Only then did Lin Xian happily turn around and turn his back to Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao, who had changed her clothes, gently climbed onto the bed and hugged Lin Xian. Suddenly, a crisp voice rang in Lin Xian's head. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for passing his mother-in-law's test. Rewarded with a set of Times Garden property kings in Stillwater City, please check.
The system appeared again? Giving away a sweet this time?
Ding dong, congratulations to the host for triggering the lottery mechanism, rewarding one chance to draw a prize. The prize pool consists of 1. A bonus cash 3x Blitz card, 2. A book of exclusive fish cuisine recipes, 3. A free redemption coupon for store decoration, 4. Thank you for your patronage.
May I ask if the host is drawing a raffle? The system has a lottery mode?
Look at it this way, as long as you don't win the lucky draw, thank you patronage is blood money. I would spend my housemate Zhou Quan to play Yuan Shen every time. The conditions of the big guarantee in exchange for the first 3 sweepstakes. Ding dong, congratulations to the host to obtain store decoration free redemption coupon. A has been placed on the desk of the Golden Bay House, please check. The system is really thoughtful, and now the decoration of that luxury store in the Golden Bay Plaza has a place.
Ding dong, a warm reminder, the result of this host's lucky draw should be thank you for your patronage.
However, the host successfully used Zhou Quan's conditions for every big guarantee, so it was changed to 1 free redemption roll for store decoration. It can still be played like this, Quan Air, I am sorry for the maniacal laughter. Lin Xian came back to his senses, and at this time, Li Mengyao had already quietly fallen asleep. The two then sank into a sweet dreamland together.
On the other hand, Zhou Quan, who was far away in the dormitory of Jinghai University, was clicking on the prayer in disbelief.
I believe in your evil. How come it's a big bailout again?
I've already had 4 consecutive big bailouts. Mihahaha, you come out. Zhou Quan was roaring in anger. P.S. Everyone has the experience of consecutive bailouts. _
Chen Jingming looked at it disdainfully and took out his computer to do a 10-peat in front of Zhou Quan.
Phew. Golden legend. Double egg yolk.
You might as well give up on this game while you can. Chen Jingming slapped Zhou Quan. I'll fight you.
Zhou Quan roared angrily in his dormitory.
The two began to move their hands. 2 hours later, Li Mengyao was still asleep, and Lin Xian was the first to wake up and tiptoe out of the room. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang, an unfamiliar call. Lin Xian pressed the connect button.
Hello, is this Mr. Lin?
Yes. It's like this, I'm the sales manager of Times Homes. The Times Homes building A1201 that you purchased is ready. May I ask when you are free to come over and check it?
Is it okay if I go tomorrow?
Of course, I'll wait for you tomorrow. Hanging up the phone, Lin Xian sighed at how efficient the system was.
Lin Xian, you're awake? Come over and talk to Auntie.
Lin Xian walked to the living room and saw Huang Shifang sitting on the sofa, looking at him with a kind face. Just woke up, Mengyao is still sleeping.
What do you think of this girl, Mengyao?
Huang Shifang suddenly asked. Mengyao is gentle and kind, gentle and elegant, but at the same time strong and bold, never retreat in the face of difficulties, can always bring me the warmth of home. Lin Xian smiled. This girl, Mengyao, lost her father when she was young and lacked fatherly love, so she is very independent, has high self-esteem, and at the same time has some sensitivity.
So Auntie would like to ask you to be a little more humble.
Auntie is leaving her only daughter in your hands, treat her well.
Huang Shifan looked at Lin Xian with gentle eyes.
Auntie, don't worry, I will take good care of Mengyao. Lin Xian responded firmly.
Auntie, don't worry, what do you want to eat at night? I'll make it for you. Huang Shifang asked. Auntie, can I cook with you at night?
I want to ask you for advice to make the flavor in Mengyao's house. Although Lin Xian had the strength of a 5-star chef, he could only bring out the maximum taste buds of the ingredients and could not replicate the flavor in Li Mengyao's house.
You really want to learn?
Huang Shifang was surprised, but at the same time felt relieved.
Nowadays, there are very few men who can cook for their wives.
Well, I think when Mengyao wants to eat the flavor of her childhood home, I can always make it.
Good, Auntie will teach you. Huang Shifang smiled and walked into the kitchen.
In the evening, after having a full dinner, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao decided to go out for a stroll. The two held hands and came to the nearby small park, which was small but well laid out, with lush greenery and flowers, and under the night's illumination, the lighting was soft, creating a serene and peaceful atmosphere. Lin Xian, this is the small park that I often came to when I was a child, how is it?
A trace of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face.
This park is very good, looks very cozy, but...
But what? Li Mengyao asked doubtfully.
But you just called it wrong, you should call it husband.
Lin Xian pulled Li Mengyao into his embrace. I'm not used to it.
Li Mengyao lowered her head and blushed.
Call a few more times and you'll get used to it.
Lin Xian lifted Li Mengyao's chin and made her look at himself.
Old husband. Li Mengyao said. Chapter 17, Not Kissing the Face, right?
Looking at Li Mengyao's charming eyes, her small mouth slightly open, giving people a kind of inexhaustible temptation. If it is not in the way of the small park around the crowd.
Meow. A clear and pleasant meow sound came from Li Mengyao's feet.
Ha, little beaver, so you're still here. Li Mengyao came out of Lin Xian's embrace and squatted down, gently stroking the cat's soft fur with her small hands. This civet cat's fur was colorful, its face had a clear outline, the fur on its body was soft and shiny, it had a unique pattern, its eyes were as crystal clear as amber, and it was chubby, it didn't look like a stray cat at all.
This is the kitten I used to feed before. It was still a little kitten then, super cute. I didn't expect it to remember me.
Li Mengyao stroked the cat while looking back at Lin Xian, smilingly. At this moment, the little civet squinted its eyes, enjoying receiving Li Mengyao's petting. It was indeed adorable, completely unable to see that it was a stray cat. Lin Xian squatted down and stretched out his hand to pet little civet as well, but little civet lightly dodged it and meowed. You're not familiar with him yet, of course he won't let you touch him.
But I have a way.
Then Li Mengyao took out a small bag of snacks from her bag and handed it to Lin Xian.
If you put the snacks on your hand, the little beaver will come over.
Li Mengyao pushed her hair behind her ear and smiled serenely.
I'll try.
Lin Xian put the snacks on his hand and handed it to the little beaver. Sure enough, the little beaver took a light step and walked over to Lin Xian and gently licked the food with its little tongue. Not long after, the small snack was licked clean. The little beaver also did not forget to lick Lin Xian's palm with his tongue.
Ha ha ha, it's kinda itchy.
Lin Xian gently stroked the soft fur of the little civet with his hand. After the two of them finished feeding the civet, they casually strolled around for a bit and then went back. At night, both Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were lying on the bed playing with their cell phones. The two of them were now naturally lying on the same bed. Honey, I'll take you to a place tomorrow. Lin Xian was the first to speak.
Where are you taking me?
Li Mengyao blinked her eyes in confusion. This was her old home. If I want to take you there, it's me who will take you there. Afterwards, Li Mengyao thought about it, turned around and hugged Lin Xian's waist with her small hands, cutely puckered her mouth, arrogantly tilted her head and said,
Are you hiding something from me again?
There are things, but this is a good thing. Lin Xian's eyes cannot hide the favor.
Say it. Tell me.
Li Mengyao grunted in Lin Xian's arms and rubbed her delicate face against Lin Xian's face.
If you don't tell me, I'll ignore you.
Li Mengyao raised her head again, her little mouth gently pouting, arrogantly saying, Okay, I can say it, but wife, you have to give me a kiss. Lin Xian took the opportunity to put forward conditions.
Then you kiss it. Li Mengyao hesitated slightly and spoke in a small voice.
Li Mengyao thought to herself, it's just a kiss on the face, she's not that shy anymore. Lin Xian gently lifted Li Mengyao's chin and slowly approached her attractive cherry mouth, followed by mouth to mouth.
Li Mengyao, isn't it a kiss on the face? After a long time, the two lips separated. You let me kiss ah. Lin Xian's cheeky to no bounds.
Li Mengyao at this time the small head of gas, angry, lifting the jade hand on the soft flesh of Lin Xian pinch.
Pain, wife, I was wrong.
Lin Xian saw this and hurriedly begged for mercy. Li Mengyao twisted hard on Lin Xian's waist a few times before slowly subsiding. Lin Xian knew that his wife was not angry, and re-hugged her into his arms, and tenderly said,
Well, time is not early, we should sleep. Li Mengyao said with a sticky voice.
Afterwards, they sank into dreamland together. The next day, the two slept until 9 o'clock. Huang Shifang has long left breakfast, went to work. At the dinner table, Li Mengyao was quietly enjoying her breakfast when she suddenly recalled yesterday's events, and her indisputable little face flushed once again. Suddenly, she realized a problem. Yesterday Lin Xian still didn't say where he was going. And why was Lin Xian so skillful? Lin Xian looked at his wife's red face again and asked,
Honey, what's wrong with you? Li Mengyao gently shook her head, glared at Lin Xian and said angrily, Nothing.
Lin Xian saw Li Mengyao angry again, must be thinking about yesterday.
But we're all ready to get married, so it's nothing, right?
Li Mengyao's eyes that had been lowered slowly raised and stared into his eyes, or couldn't help but ask, Why are you so skillful? Lin Xian couldn't help but be slightly stunned, not expecting Li Mengyao to ask this. Boys are gifted in this area, kissing will do it. Li Mengyao thought of a very important thing. His first kiss was given to Lin Xian, but is Lin Xian a first kiss? Kissing will be, is it that he has kissed many times before? If not, then which girl did he give his first kiss to? Li Mengyao depressedly bit her lips and continued to pursue the question. So are you a first kiss? Tell the truth. Lin Xian felt a crisis explode and hurriedly hugged Li Mengyao. Yikes!
What are you doing? Quickly say it is not.
Li Mengyao annoyingly punched Lin Xian. Lin Xian gently scraped Li Mengyao's pretty nose and said with a smile, Of course it is, last night was my first kiss. Li Mengyao's feelings of shyness surged to her heart, and she subconsciously pulled up her hair to cover her slightly red cheeks, and spoke in a small voice. Oh. After having breakfast, the two of them came downstairs in front of the parked Maybach. Lin Xian helped Li Mengyao into the co-pilot before circling around and returning to the driver's seat.
You haven't said where you're going yet.
Li Mengyao blinked her deer-like pure bright eyes staring at Lin Xian. To Times Garden. Lin Xian started the car and slowly drove forward.
Chapter 18 This is me, my husband. The unique body of the Maybach shone brightly as it sped through the streets of Stillwater City, attracting the eyes of the people around it.
It was important to know that in the small fourth-tier city of Jingshui City, a 3 million plus Maybach S680 was also rare. The two quickly arrived at Times Garden. Lin Xian parked the car and held Li Mengyao's hand to the gate. The gate of Times Garden was like a gorgeous archway, imposing and solemn, highlighting the dignity and elegance. Although it is not as good as the Riverview houses in big cities, it is also a high-grade neighborhood here, and because it is well decorated, it also costs 10,000 yuan per square foot.
Old husband, did you buy things indiscriminately again?
Li Mengyao slightly hesitated, still calling it unaccustomed.
No, these are what should be bought, not counted as buying indiscriminately.
Lin Xian smiled. Are you disliking my old house?
Li Mengyao lowered her head and asked in a small voice.
Yes, Lin Xian family conditions are so good, surely not accustomed to living in that old house. Now Lin Xian brought her to see the Times Garden, surely it has been bought. Lin Xian saw his own wife's mind, pinched her small hand, and said gently. No, yesterday I lived very comfortable. But this is not a permanent solution, and will still have to be changed in the future. I don't want my future mother-in-law to climb the 8th floor every day, and this is also close to the time when my aunt goes to work, and I don't have to squeeze the bus every morning. Besides, we will come back often in the future, so it just happened to buy together to save trouble. Huang Shifang has not yet reached retirement age and is still working in a nearby shopping mall at this time. Li Mengyao hugged Lin Xian tightly with both hands and raised her head to look at him. Her eyes were adoring little stars.
Thank you, hubby.
Lin Xian smoothly held Li Mengyao's waist, leaned over and kissed her on the face, smiling cheerfully.
Thank you, husband, with practical action.
Li Mengyao's face began to blush, whispered open, still outside it.
Okay, stop it, let's quickly go inside and take a look.
Lin Xian then picked up his cell phone and dialed the manager of that Times Garden yesterday.
Hello manager, I am Mr. Lin who purchased 1201 of Building A of Times Garden yesterday. Can I check now?
Hello Mr. Lin, of course you can. Where are you now? I'll be right over.
I'm at the front door now. Please wait a moment, I'll be right there.
Not long after, a young man in a neat suit with a confident smile jogged over.
Hello, Mr. Lin, I'm the manager of Times Garden. My name is Huang. Hello, Manager Huang, can you take us over to take a look now?
Of course you can, this way please. Manager Huang cannot dare to have the slightest negligence. Mr. Lin bought but the Times Garden's king of the building, and it is the middle floor, belongs to the entire district, one of the most expensive house, and finally full payment.
Is it the first time for two people to come to the Times Garden?
Manager Huang asked with a smile on his face.
Yes, it's our first time.
Lin Xian and Li Mengyao looked left and right, surveying the neighborhood environment. The first time you come to buy a house of more than $2 million, this is how rich ah.
Then I will give you a brief introduction.
Why is the garden of the Times called the garden? Because its screening rate is as high as 50% from the front door and is full of lush grass and trees, flowers, like a gorgeous picture scroll. Garden paths winding, plants on both sides of the patchwork, a variety of flowers, pavilions and pavilions dotted with them, constituting a beautiful landscape, let a person relaxed and happy. To put it plainly, the environment of our Times Garden is the second best in Jingshui City, and no other neighborhood dares to call it the first.
With Manager Huang's introduction, both Lin Xian and Li Mengyao nodded in satisfaction.
Soon arriving at the downstairs of Building A of Times Garden, the design of the king of the building was obviously more remarkable and atmospheric than the other buildings. Then together, they took the elevator to the door of 1201. Manager Huang took out the key and opened the door. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao walked in. This house is also 200 square feet, 4 rooms and 2 halls. The fine decoration is not bad, the workmanship is quite meticulous. I'm sure you'll find that it's worth every penny, and there's a reason why it's expensive, but there's no furniture, and it'll have to be redecorated and refurbished afterward. It looks like you'll have to be busy for a while before you can live in the house.
Lin Xian held Li Mengyao's small hand and came to the large balcony. The king of the building's view can overlook the entire Times Garden. The view is quite good.
Honey, what do you think?
Lin Xian looked at Li Mengyao tenderly.
It's very beautiful. It's a completely different style from the Golden Bay mansion we had in Jinghai City. Li Mengyao spread her face and smiled, very happy. Seeing the two people in front of him very satisfied, Huang manager is also very happy, closed a big order, commission can take a lot of it.
If you two have no problems, you can sign here.
Manager Huang handed Lin Xian a contract of sale. Lin Xian carefully read it and then signed his name. Congratulations to both of you for becoming the honored owners of Era Garden. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, so I won't bother you anymore. Manager Huang said and left. After Lin Xian and Li Mengyao carefully observed the new house once more, they took the elevator downstairs together and prepared to pick up their aunt from work at the nearby shopping mall. Just as the two of them had just stepped out of Building A of Times Garden, a crisp voice rang in their ears.
Mengyao. Mengyao, it's really you, you're home?
The person who came was a girl with a fresh and beautiful appearance, not very stunning but with a charming smile.
Ting Ting? I didn't expect to meet you at so. Li Mengyao smiled happily.
Mengyao, we haven't been together for a long time, come give us a hug. The two of them then hugged happily. At this moment, Chen Tingting realized that there was a super handsome guy behind Li Mengyao.
Mengyao, don't you want to introduce me?
Chen Tingting narrowed her eyes at Li Mengyao. Mengyao, haven't seen you for a few months. Not only are you getting more and more beautiful, but you even have such a handsome boyfriend. TSK. Li Mengyao turned back to hold Lin Xian's arm, elegant eyes gently blinking, smilingly said. Tingting, let me introduce to you, this is my husband, Lin Xian. Although not yet married, but the children are there, what should be done and should not be done is also done, so Li Mengyao simply directly introduced his husband.
Chen Tingting's eyes widened in disbelief. Just a few months after not seeing her, Li Mengyao got married? Hubby, this is my hairy little girl, Chen Tingting. Li Mengyao continued to introduce.
Chen Tingting hurriedly pulled Li Mengyao to one side and hugged the tearless.
Mengyao, quickly tell me this is not true. Li Mengyao was a little overwhelmed, confused, and blinked. It is true. Chapter 19. My mom is still here. Only a few months have passed since I saw you, and you got married? Chen Tingting asked. Not married yet, but it should be soon.
Li Mengyao's small face flushed, sneaking a glance at Lin Xian, realizing that the latter was looking at herself all the time, she hurriedly turned her head away. Chen Tingting looked at them eye to eye, helplessly said.
Yao Yao, you really have already settled on him. Well, he's very good to me. Li Mengyao nodded tenderly. Chen Tingting smiled and said, well, as a good sister I will of course give you my blessing. But if you let Li Jia and the others know that you're getting married, they'll be crying their eyes out tonight. Li Mengyao, don't talk nonsense, they and I have always been ordinary friends. Chen Tingting waved her hand, no, you haven't been giving them much of a chance. By the way, why are you guys in Times Garden? Chen Tingting moved to Times Garden not long ago. His parents sponsored a lot of money, which barely bought a small household of less than 100 square feet. Li Mengyao, we came to look at the house, and now we are ready to go back. Chen Tingting didn't think much about it and said, oh that's fine, next time you have time to come to my house to play, I'll tell you my house has a superb view. She remembered that. Li Mengyao's family situation is not very good, think it is unlikely to be able to afford to buy such an expensive neighborhood, should just look at it. Okay, we will have many opportunities to play together in the future. Li Mengyao faintly smiled, quickly walked back to Lin Xian's side, holding his arm, tenderly said, long time waiting. Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's little face and smiled, what did you guys talk about? Li Mengyao shook her little head and smiled happily, nothing, just simply catching up. Lin Xian pulls Li Mengyao and goes back. Lin Xian pulled Li Mengyao and prepared to walk towards the parking lot. Suddenly, a shout came from behind. Mr. Lin, wait a moment. Only to see that Manager Huang who just ran all the way over quickly. It was hard to catch up with Lin Xian, Manager Huang gasped for air. Manager Huang, is there anything else you need? Lin Xian asked suspiciously. I forgot to give you the key to the cell door, I'm very sorry. Manager Huang handed the key to Lin Xian while panting. I almost forgot too, thank you. Lin Xian picked up the key and left with Li Mengyao. Not far away, Chen Tingting, who hadn't moved away yet, was puzzled to see Manager Huang. Isn't this the sales manager I bought the house from? Did Li Mengyao and her husband already buy it? Then Chen Tingting walked up and asked, Manager Huang, hello, remember me? Manager Huang turned his head to look at Chen Tingting and said with embarrassment, I don't quite remember, may I ask what's the matter with you? I am the Miss Chen who bought building E3201 a few months ago. Chen Tingting said with some exasperation, before not yet closed before also called every day to ask, buy or not to buy a house, this period of time there are concessions and so on, and now you do not recognize. Oh I remember, you are the one who bought that penthouse, right, I am sorry, recently received a little too many customers, and a time to think of it. Then what is it that you are looking for me for? Manager Huang asked. Chen Tingting, I want to ask if those two people just now also bought Times Garden. Manager Huang, yes, they are the valued customers of Times Garden, they bought the 12th floor of Building A, the king of the building, and they also paid the full amount. Chen Tingting widened her eyes, shocked, the king of the building can be 200 square feet of large flat, or the middle floor, the price is more than 2 million. Thinking back to my own, when I had no choice but to choose the top floor because of the lack of funds. Just now, I was also very proud to invite Li Mengyao to come to her home to play, so humiliating. However, she is also genuinely happy for Mengyao, it seems that she has met the right person. Then Chen Tingting took out her cell phone and said in a group chat. I just met your goddess, but she seems to be getting married, so you don't have a chance, big smile emoji. That's not true. Tell me it's not true. Whoever abducted my goddess, I'll beat him up. Isn't this getting ready to get married? I still have a chance. Dog head emoji. On the other side, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao and drove to the supermarket to buy some groceries before arriving at the Peace Mall. Huang Shifeng is working in the Peace Mall, and it's just about time to get off work. The people in the mall who were off work all saw a black and slender Maybach parked at the entrance. Although some people didn't know how much it cost, they knew at a glance that it was a luxury car, and it must be very expensive. At this time, Huang Shifeng and her colleague Chen Li together from work ready to take the bus home. The two walked while chatting, Chen Li at this time and began to hit Huang Shifeng's daughter's idea. Fang you want to reconsider, my boy in the state-owned enterprises work, treatment and other aspects are still very good. No, Chen Li, my daughter has a boyfriend. Huang Shifeng politely refused. What's going on? When did it happen? What does your daughter's boyfriend do? Chen Li was a bit surprised. He hasn't graduated yet. Huang Shifeng didn't want to reveal too much. Not graduated? That is still not working well, I tell you now the work cannot find, you see my son in the state-owned units, every year is a lot of people rush into it. Chen Li boasted.
Huang Shifang thought of Chen Li's son is always high, no one else's attitude. I heard that it is also very philandering, often change girlfriends, how can they give their daughters to such a person? Just when Huang Shifang was ready to wait for the bus, a black and slender Maybach stopped in front of them.
Mom, I've come to take you home.
Li Mengyao poked her head out and smiled brightly.
Yao Yao, is this your car? Huang Shifang was shocked.
Although she didn't know much about cars, she could still tell the difference between an ordinary car and a luxury car. Auntie, get in the car, we've already bought the dishes for lunch.
Go back and I'll show you my hand so that you can try it. Lin Xian laughed.
At this time, Li Mengyao also found Chen Li beside her and also asked happily.
Auntie Chen, are you going back too? Let's send you back.
No need, my son will come to pick me up later, you guys go back first, huh?
Chen Li smiled awkwardly. This is my son-in-law, then I will go back first.
Huang Shifang turned around and said to Chen Li, then sat in the back seat of the Maybach. Chen Li, on the other hand, grayed out and sat down on the next bus.
In the Maybach's car, Huang Shifang hesitated and couldn't help but ask. Lin Xian, is this the car you bought?
Yes, Auntie, I just bought it not long ago to facilitate traveling with Mengyao.
Lin Xian drove steadily.
By such an expensive car to travel, Lin Xian's family should be very rich, right? In-laws will not be bad to talk, will not dislike our family.
Mom, Auntie Chen's son is not never pick up her from work well. Li Mengyao asked curiously.
Yes, she's just being tough, his son won't pick her up at all. She always pestered me to introduce her son to you, I said I have a son-in-law, and now that she's seen it with her own eyes, she should be dead in the water.
Huang Shifang came back to her senses.
Lin Xian smiled and said, it seems that my wife is still very popular, I have to keep a close eye on her. Li Mengyao's small face instantly scarlet, glared at Lin Xian, whispered.
My mother is still here. Huang Shifang in the back seat to cover her mouth and sneer. Chapter 20 Pregnancy Vomiting.
Back home, Lin Xian went to the kitchen and started cooking. Huang Shifang repeatedly wanted to come forward to help but was refused, so she had to watch TV in the living room with her daughter. In a short while, Lin Xian had prepared a table of dishes, including steamed turbot fish, mushroom and dried scallop soup, fried beef with scallions, steamed pork ribs with garlic, and stir-fried broccoli. Because Li Mengyao loved fish, every meal would have a fish dish. Lin Xian varied it every time and made it for Li Mengyao, who had a happy smile on her face.
It's time to eat.
Lin Xian shouted. Lin Xian, you're cooking so many dishes.
Huang Shifang laughed. Not much, for dishes and one soup, Auntie, try my handiwork.
After saying that, Lin Xian first gave Li Mengyao a large piece of fish, and then gave Huang Shifang a large piece of beef. Huang Shifang looked at her future son-in-law taking such good care of Yao Yao, and felt more at ease with Lin Xian.
This is even better than many famous restaurants in Stillwater City.
Lin Xian, who did you learn this cooking skill from? It's so delicious.
Huang Shifang was shocked and exclaimed. Before, when I was at home and had nothing to do, I liked to cook. If it's good, I'll eat some more.
Lin Xian smiled. After a while, Lin Xian saw that the food was almost done, so he opened his mouth and said, Auntie, I bought a new house in Times Garden.
Let's move there together once it's redecorated.
Huang Shifang's heart thumped and she said incredulously.
Lin Xian, are you serious?
Lin Xian nodded seriously. Huang Shifang was silent for a moment, thinking that the house in Times Garden was not cheap, and that Lin Xian couldn't just spend it even if he had the money. Then he said to Lin Xian, how much would that cost? This house is a little old, but it can still be lived in. Lin Xian, listen to your aunt, return the house. Lin Xian said in a firm tone.
It's okay, Auntie, this old house will be put.
Times Garden is very close to where you work, and you don't have to climb 8 floors in the future. Then his eyes looked at Li Mengyao. Besides, in the future, Mengyao and I will often come back. By then the baby will also be able to play in the Times Garden neighborhood. Huang Shifang thought about it and finally agreed, and after a while they would move to Times Garden together. After lunch, Lin Xian wanted to clean up the dishes, but Huang Shifang grabbed them. With nothing to do, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned to the bedroom early. Lin Xian had one arm around Li Mengyao and the other hand was playing with her hair.
Honey, what decorating style do you want for the new room? Li Mengyao picked a good-looking eyebrow and said.
New Chinese style it, Jinwan house that set is already a new simple style, this time change a look. Said the cell phone searched the picture to Lin Xian see.
Good, in the afternoon we will go to see the Jingshuwei City Decoration Company and furniture stores.
Good. Li Mengyao's eyes are full of bright light, happy like a small child, soon hugging Lin Xian huffing and puffing. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Lin Xian woke up and looked at Li Mengyao, who was still sleeping in his arms. He couldn't bear to wake up this sleeping beauty, so he lightly walked out of the room. After simply tidying up a bit, he saw Huang Shifang walk out of her room to get ready for work. "Auntie, I'll send you to work, just as I'm going to take a look at the decoration company," Lin Xian said with a smile.
"This is too much trouble." "No trouble, I'm idle anyway."
Afterwards, Lin Xian drove the Maybach and sent Huang Shifang to the Peace Mall. Then he went to look at some famous decoration companies in Stillwater City. I don't know how long it took, but Li Mengyao's small hand kept touching the perimeter of the bed, as if she was looking for something.
"Where is my husband?"
The small hand turned around and didn't touch it, so that means Lin Xian is no longer in the room. Li Mengyao gently rubbed her eyes, got up with difficulty, and walked out of the room. After searching all over the house, she couldn't find Lin Xian. Li Mengyao's small brain thought about it and took out her cell phone.
"Hubby, where are you?"
Immediately after that, she sent out an angry bear emoji.
5 minutes later. "Honey, are you awake?"
Li Mengyao directly called a video over after seeing it, not before, because she was afraid that Lin Xian was driving and wasn't good at picking up video calls. Soon, a handsome face of Lin Xian appeared in Li Mengyao's cell phone screen.
"Why don't you wake me up, say yes to go together?"
Although her tone was calm, the demeanor between her brows had fully indicated that she was a little upset right now. "I saw you sleeping too soundly, so I didn't call you. I've looked at several homes, so I'll bring back the plans and renderings for you to see when the time comes, so you rest well at home." Lin Xian guffawed and hurriedly coaxed.
"Then you come back early."
Lin Xian is also for her sake, and did not continue to play small sex. "I just looked at the time, I also slept until almost 5 o'clock, but also too able to sleep it. Lin Xian called me still not necessarily able to get up."
"Okay, wife, I will pick up auntie later and come back."
"Well." Then Li Mengyao hung up the phone, her little face red, wife on wife, but also add what adults. Lin Xian worked hard all afternoon, and should be hungry when he comes back. "I'll make dinner today, let Lin Xian try my handiwork." Afterwards, Li Mengyao found the ingredients she bought at noon from the refrigerator and started to get busy in the kitchen. At first, she didn't feel anything unusual, but halfway through, a sudden wave of nausea hit her. Covering her mouth, Li Mengyao hurriedly ran to the toilet and began to vomit violently. I don't know how long it took to vomit. Li Mengyao, who came out of the toilet with a pale face, picked up a small cup of water and drank a mouthful of hot water, and sat on the sofa quietly fuming before gradually easing her mind. I didn't expect the first pregnancy vomit to be like this. Subsequently, the door of the house was opened, and Lin Xian and Huang Shifang came back.
"I am back."
Lin Xian smiled happily. Li Mengyao scrambled to get up, quickly stepped forward, and jumped into Lin Xian's arms, her voice a little hoarse.
"Welcome home."
Lin Xian heard that something was wrong. It sounded a lot like he had been crying, and then he looked at his wife in his arms. Her eyes were red, there were faint tear marks, and her lips were quite dry.
"Wife, what's wrong with you?"
"I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left you home alone."
"It won't happen again next time."
Lin Xian picked up Li Mengyao and gently placed her on the sofa.
"It's not that I just wanted to make dinner for you guys."
Who knew that halfway through, I felt particularly nauseous and then I threw up. Li Mengyao gently rubbed herself in Lin Xian's arms and said in a sticky way.
Huang Shifang looked at the two of them, knowing that she was now superfluous, and said to Lin Xian.
"Lin Xian, I'll go make dinner first, you take care of Yao Yao."
Lin Xian nodded to Huang Shifang. "Okay, auntie."
Turning back to Lin Xian, he took a tissue and gently wiped away Li Mengyao's tears. The thought of Li Mengyao violently vomiting in the toilet made his heart ache. The first 3 months is the high-frequency period of pregnancy vomiting for pregnant women. Lin Xian has always given Li Mengyao fewer meals and resolutely prevented her from entering the kitchen, just to maximize the possibility of avoiding pregnancy vomiting, but the result is still happening.
"Don't go into the kitchen in the future, and leave all the household chores to your husband, okay?"
Li Mengyao leaned in Lin Xian's embrace, and the intense discomfort she had just experienced dissipated, revealing a smile of happiness.
Chapter 21. I can't finish it.
After dinner, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao went for a walk by the river. The Stillwater River was the mother river of Stillwater City, so at night, the residents of Stillwater City would come to the river to take a walk.
Because Li Mengyao's home was far from the river, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao drove the Maybach.
When they arrived at the riverside, Lin Xian parked the car and held Li Mengyao's small hand as the two of them strolled along the riverside together. The Stillwater River's riverside hustle and bustle of people, people come and go with smiles on their faces, the river water sparkles under the lights, and the neon lights along the banks reflect the atmosphere of life.
Life here is really cozy.
Lin Xian viewed the night scenery of the Stillwater River and lamented.
Yes, I really like this small fourth-tier city.
There is no hustle and bustle of a first-tier city, only a leisurely life and a peaceful atmosphere. Li Mengyao smiled sweetly at Lin Xian.
We can come back anytime after the renovation of the house in Times Garden is done.
Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's small hand and said with a smile.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to come here to play a lot.
I remember there was a kind old grandfather selling sugar gourds here. He used to often take a small bamboo stick and stick a sugar gourd into it and give it to me. Li Mengyao kept reminiscing about her childhood, and Lin Xian listened quietly from the side.
Strolling along the river, they soon passed by an ice cream store.
This was a Netflix store in Stillwater City, and because the ice cream it made tasted so good, there were many people lining up every night.
Honey, do you want to eat ice cream?
Li Mengyao looked at the ice cream in the store and her stomach cooed indisputably, her little face reddened. Because Li Mengyao had pregnancy sickness in the afternoon, she didn't have much appetite for dinner, so she didn't eat much. Now that she came out for a walk, she soon got hungry. Lin Xian led Li Mengyao to the ice cream store, and since there were still a lot of people in line, Lin Xian brought Li Mengyao to an empty seat.
Honey, you sit down first, I'll go queue up to buy it. What flavor do you want to eat? Lin Mengyao took Lin Xian's hand and gently shook it, saying with a smile.
I want strawberry flavor, hard-working husband. Lin Xian pulled up Li Mengyao's small hand and kissed it on the back of his hand. It smelled good.
Good.
Li Mengyao rushed to pull back her small hand, her face could not help but blush. How can this person be so unashamed, kissing in public? Lin Xian smiled and went to the back to start lining up. Seeing that the line is still long, Li Mengyao picks up her cell phone and starts swiping the video.
Lu Yusin, my big Yao Yao, where are you now? I've come to find you to play. Li Mengyao, I'm in Jingshui City, are you coming? Lu Yusin, why did you go home all of a sudden? Li Mengyao, bringing my husband home. Lu Yusin, starting to call my husband now? You're not married yet. Li Mengyao, almost. Lu Yusin, so auntie has agreed? Didn't break his legs?
Li Mengyao, don't you talk nonsense, my mom has already agreed. Lu Yusin, really a woman is not useful, you are just so white. Well, you're not here, I'm going to play on my own, do not eat your dog food.
Li Mengyao returned a little bear nodding expression. Just after ending the chat with Lu Yusin, Li Mengyao sat opposite a boy.
This boy was quite handsome, dressed cleanly, did the recent very fashionable Korean-style fluffy hairstyle, smiled and accosted Li Mengyao.
Hello, beautiful, is it convenient to add a contact? Li Mengyao looked at it and politely said. Sorry, I have a husband.
The boy saw that Li Mengyao was still a student, and there was no so-called husband next to her, so he guessed that it should be made up.
We are very lucky, just add a contact information.
Li Mengyao saw that he was still unforgiving, and said with cold eyes. Please do not bother me anymore, I said I have. She did not say that she has a husband, I am. Lin Xian rushed over at this time, staring fiercely at the man who accosted his wife. Li Mengyao immediately held Lin Xian's hand and hid behind Lin Xian. The boy looked at the person in front of him who was taller than himself and also more handsome than himself, and knowing that he couldn't compete, he slipped away.
Honey, next time you meet a hitchhiker, call me directly, I'll come over right away.
Lin Xian smiled and handed the extra-large strawberry sundae in his hand to Li Mengyao.
Well, why did you only buy one, and I can't finish this one with so many? Li Mengyao nodded, revealing a sweet smile. Eat slowly.
Lin Xian touched Li Mengyao's little head, then held her little hand and continued to walk by the river. Li Mengyao looked at the extra-large strawberry sundae in front of her, and after thinking about it, she took out her cell phone and took a picture, sending it to her good girlfriend, Lu Yusin.
Lu Yusin? Li Mengyao, yummy. Lu Yusin, Yao Yao you be a person.
Before, when Lu Yusin talked about a boyfriend in the university, she showed her love in front of Li Mengyao every day, and has been encouraging Li Mengyao to find one too. Now that they had broken up, it was Li Mengyao's turn to show her love to Lu Yusin. Li Mengyao straightened her hair, the corner of her mouth slightly raised. Lin Xian saw his wife giggling as she looked at her cell phone and asked curiously.
What's so funny?
Li Mengyao came back to her senses and looked at Lin Xian with an innocent face.
No, nothing. I can't finish it.
Li Mengyao looked at the strawberry sundae that was half eaten by herself and was already in a sorry state. Then give it to hubby, I'll fix it. Lin Xian smiled gently.
Did you think about eating mine from the beginning?
Li Mengyao, who realized Lin Xian's scheme, didn't have the heart to continue and could only glare at Lin Xian, but still handed the strawberry sundae in her hand to Lin Xian. After Lin Xian got it, he started to eat it, and in a short while it was swallowed into his stomach. The two of them continued to walk by the river, and soon Li Mengyao felt a little tired.
Hubby, I'm a bit sleepy, let's go back.
Li Mengyao pulled on Lin Xian's small hand.
Good, let's go back the way we came.
Just as the two of them were preparing to go back, an old man was on the bustling street, guarding his sugar gourd stand, waiting for customers with a big smile. That is the grandfather who often gave me sugar gourds when I was a child.
Li Mengyao excitedly opened her mouth.
Then let's go buy a bunch of sugar gourds. I see that he only has one last bunch left, so let the old man close his stall early. Lin Xian gently looked at Li Mengyao. Lin Xian led Li Mengyao up to the front.
Grandpa, how do you sell these sugar gourds? Lin Xian could feel that Li Mengyao was very happy. $3 a bunch.
I'll take one.
Grandpa, do you still remember me? Li Mengyao smiled, very happy.
The grandfather selling sugar gourds raised his head and looked at the girl in front of him. He always felt somewhat familiar and suddenly remembered.
You are the little girl who used to eat my sugar gourds when you were little? Chapter 22. The babies will grow up fast. It's me.
I didn't expect Grandpa to remember me.
Li Mengyao's eyes bent with laughter and happiness.
Haha, how can I not remember? When I was little, many kids gathered around me to buy sugar gourds.
You stood not far away and drooled.
Sugar gourd grandfather kindly smiled, the corner of the eye frown narrowed into a slit. Li Mengyao said with some embarrassment, I was not greedy.
Sugar plum grandpa.
So I always leave a sugar plum for you, ha ha ha.
The last string of strawberry sugar gourd is for you.
Because the general sugar gourd is made of hawthorn, and pregnant women are trying not to eat hawthorn food, will have adverse effects on the body. However, if the sugar gourd is made with fruits, such as the strawberry sugar gourd in front of you, pregnant women can eat it.
Li Mengyao quickly waved her hand.
No, we buy it. Lin Xian took out his cell phone and scanned the code.
Yes, Grandpa, we buy. Thank you for taking
care of her when you were little. Grandpa Sugarplum looked at the two of them holding hands tightly and smiled with relief. I just look at the beginning of your poor girl, tied two braids extraordinarily cute, reminds me of my own granddaughter, ha.
Here, your sugar gourd.
Said handed the last string of sugar gourds to Li Mengyao.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Li Mengyao was happy like a little kid, smiling from ear to ear. When Lin Xian left, he secretly left $100 to Grandpa Sugarplum to thank him for taking care of Li Mengyao. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao continued to return the same way. On the way, Li Mengyao ate the sugar gourd while pulling Lin Xian's hand and bobbing it up and down, just like back when she was a child.
Honey, is it good?
Lin Xian revealed a smile.
Yummy, it still tastes like it did when I was a kid, it hasn't changed at all. Li Mengyao nodded happily and dully raised her head to ask Lin Xian. Do you want to eat it?
Lin Xian looked at the sugar gourd that Li Mengyao handed him and smiled. I just got full, you eat.
Oh.
Li Mengyao continued to taste her own sugar gourd, sweet and sour, full of flavor.
There's still the last one left, are you sure you don't want to eat it?
Li Mengyao looked towards Lin Xian, her elegant eyes blinking gently.
Not eating.
Lin Xian's tone was firm and said, after saying that, he also kept looking at Li Mengyao's tantalizing cherry mouth. Li Mengyao always felt that Lin Xian did not have good intentions, but simple she could not think of anything. Do not eat, do not eat. Then she stuffed the last sugar gourd into her mouth. After containing it for a while, her cheeks were about to bulge, when Lin Xian suddenly smiled and opened his mouth. Honey, I want to eat sugar gourds now.
There is no longer any. Li Mengyao looked at the gourd sign in her hand and shook her pretty head and said. Isn't there another one here? Where there is still one, there is still one in my mouth.
Li Mengyao suddenly realized something and hurriedly reached out to cover her mouth.
You can't,
But someone was still one step ahead of her. Lin Xian wrapped one arm around Li Mengyao into his embrace, and with the other hand, he lifted Li Mengyao's chin and leaned in to kiss those tantalizing lips. Causing Li Mengyao to push hard, she first looked around, luckily there was no one, and then looked at Lin Xian with annoyance. Why are you robbing my sugar plums? I like to eat sugar plums with a sweet mouth. Lin Xian shamelessly said. Li Mengyao was really angry, raised his hand to wring Lin Xian's waist. It hurts, don't wring it, I already have several bruises on my waist.
Lin Xian, who was playfully smiling 1 second, was grimacing the next. Humph.
Li Mengyao beamed, her little face gently twisted, not giving Lin Xian a look.
Okay wife, I know it's wrong, let's go back quickly, Lin Xian open-coaxed.
Every time you say you know it's wrong, next time it's still the same. Li Mengyao angry, continue not to give Lin Xian face. Finish, this girl will not really angry it. Lin Xian instantly feel his mouth sugar gourd not sweet. After a while, Li Mengyao turned her head to look at the dumbfounded Lin Xian and snorted a laugh. Scared yet? Li Mengyao gently patted Lin Xian with her small hand. Afraid, wife? Lin Xian also followed with a smile.
Next time do not suddenly. In public can go home and kiss again. Li Mengyao blinking dear general pure bright eyes staring, whispered open. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that.
Lin Xian agreed quickly, without a hint of hesitation. The two finally returned to the parking place. Lin Xian sent Li Mengyao to the co-pilot, returned to the driver's seat, started the car, and drove in the direction of home. In the car, Li Mengyao looked at her small belly and asked Lin Xian.
Hubby, do you think this is a boy or a girl? Is it possible that it's a boy and a girl each?
Lin Xian smiled as he drove calmly and replied. How can you be so lucky to have a dragon and phoenix child at once? Li Mengyao raised her nice eyebrows and smiled happily.
It's already almost 3 months, the baby needs to grow up quickly.
Li Mengyao gently stroked her soft little belly. Honey, I also want to touch it. Lin Xian glanced at it and envied it.
Back home again, you drive with all your heart, don't look around. Li Mengyao's small face reddened.
Soon, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned home. After Lin Xian parked his car, he held Li Mengyao's and prepared to go home. Li Mengyao looked at the door of her house how there was a person standing, only to see him holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and when she got closer, it turned out to be Li Jie. Li Jie is the class president of Li Mengyao's high school, has been pursuing Li Mengyao, but Li Mengyao does not like him, several times have clearly refused, but Li Jie thinks that anyway, Li Mengyao has no boyfriend, he has the opportunity, so has been stalking, and then Li Mengyao simply ignored him. When Li Jie saw Li Mengyao holding a man and coming down from the limousine Maybach, the fists in his hands tightened, but he still tried to keep a smile on his face. It seems that what Chen Tingting said was true, Li Mengyao really talked about her boyfriend.
Mengyao, I heard that you came back, why didn't you say anything? This flower is for you.
Li Jie smiled and handed the flowers to Li Mengyao, completely ignoring Lin Xian. Li Mengyao frowned when she saw it was Li Jie.
Li Jie, why did you come to my doorstep?
I told you before, we're not suitable, please give the flowers to someone else, thank you. After saying that, he was going to hold Lin Xian's hand and prepare to go home. I didn't expect this Li Jie to block Lin Xian and Li Mengyao again, anxiously shouting.
Mengyao, can't you give me a chance?
I have now been hired by a well-known enterprise in Stillwater City, my parents are also dual workers, and in the future we will have a very good life in Stillwater City.
Li Mengyao's eyes were ice cold, and she angrily interrupted.
Say it again, we don't have any possibilities, and I already have a husband, get out of the way. Lin Xian is still the first time to see Li Mengyao so angry, looking at Li Jie in front of him who was still unforgiving, the fist in his hand clenched.
But pain.
Li Jie still wanted to explain. Lin Xian reached out and grabbed Li Jie's arm and rotated it hard, holding him down. After the first reward given by the system to enhance his physique, Lin Xian's strength was already far greater than normal people. It's all been made very clear, if you dare to harass my wife again, you won't be so polite next time, get lost. Lin Xian then kicked hard towards Li Jie's ass and Li Jie fell like a dog eating sure.
Chapter 23 Hubby, you're the best.
Li Jie climbed up in a sorry state, his face grimacing, gritting his teeth as he watched Lin Xian and Li Mengyao leave. He was not going to give up easily, he had been pursuing it for so many years and had become demonized.
He then limped away.
After Lin Xian and Li Mengyao went back, since it was already late, the two quickly washed up and lay on the bed. Li Mengyao was quietly looking at her cell phone, while Lin Xian was staring at his wife.
Li Mengyao quickly noticed the abnormality, put down her cell phone, turned around and hugged Lin Xian, raising her head.
Hubby, what are you thinking about?
Keep staring at me.
Even though she wasn't married yet, now Li Mengyao was calling out for her husband in a very natural way, sooner or later anyway. Lin Xian came back to his senses, stretched out his hands and hugged Li Mengyao tightly, and tenderly said. I was thinking, how come my wife is so popular? That auntie's son this morning, that boy from the ice cream parlor at night, and the guy downstairs just now. In just one day there are 3 people who want to steal my wife, it's infuriating to think about it. Li Mengyao was a bit helpless but couldn't hide her gentle smile.
That's why you're here, isn't it? It's not like I can control it. It's because they want to come up, I can't do anything about it.
Lin Xian smiled and lowered his head, pressing his forehead against hers, revealing his signature smile.
Then I'll have to watch a little more closely from now on.
As expected, overwhelming kisses followed, first kissing the forehead, then shifting to the tip of her nose, and finally stopping on her lips. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao continued to stay in Stillwater City for a few more days, and after arranging for the renovation and furniture placement of Times Garden, they were ready to depart back to Jinghai City today. The three of them came downstairs. Huang Shifan looked at Lin Xian taking such good care of his daughter, and smiled in relief, handing Li Mengyao the account book in her hand.
Yao, this account book you take good, to remember to often come back to see.
Li Mengyao looked at the account book in her hand, knowing what her mother meant, her eyes were sore. Seeing this, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's small hand and said in a firm tone,
Auntie, just rest assured, we will come back often.
Li Mengyao's face rippled.
Aha, Mom, we will definitely come back often.
Huang Shifang also had slightly reddened eyes and tenderly said,
Mom knows, be careful on the road.
Lin Xian helped Li Mengyao to sit steadily in the back seat, then walked into the main driver's seat, started the Maybach, and slowly left. Huang Shifan could no longer hold back her tears. She and her daughter had been dependent on each other for more than 10 years, and now she was going to marry someone. In the Maybach's car, Li Mengyao was also in tears, her eyes red. Lin Xian drove quietly in front, knowing the sorrows of both mother and daughter, so he didn't try to comfort them specifically, giving them some time.
Soon, 4 hours passed. The dark and slender Maybach once again drove into the parking lot of the Golden Bay Mansion.
After Lin Xian parked the car steadily, he walked out of the car door and came to the back seat. Shortly after Li Mengyao got into the car, she cried and fell asleep, now sleeping peacefully and quietly, like a cute little girl.
Lin Xian gently picked up Li Mengyao and slowly walked towards the elevator.
Soon the beauty in his arms woke up and looked at Lin Xian with 4 eyes, confused.
Awake?
Lin Xian's eyes could not hide his favor and said,
Quickly put me down. Li Mengyao's pretty face was red. This is still outside, how embarrassing to be seen. It's okay, no one is here.
Said Lin Xian came to the elevator inside, pressed the 16th floor. The elevator slowly rises, suddenly stops at the first floor, the elevator door opens, comes in a big woman and an uncle. This big woman looks at the two, the corner of her mouth can't hide the smile. At this time, Li Mengyao has been embarrassed to the point of drilling her head into Lin Xian's chest, using her small hands to pull her hair to cover her red face.
Finally boiled to the 16th floor, today's elevator extraordinarily slow.
Out of the elevator after Li Mengyao quickly struggled down, Lin Xian also slowly put down. Li Mengyao angry with a small hand gently whacked the still laughing Lin Xian, but also do not dare to be more forceful, hit the bad themselves also.
Heartache.
The two finally returned to the home of the Golden Bay House. Just returned home, Lin Xian began to clean up. Li Mengyao also joined in, do some of the things that can be done. Originally, Lin Xian didn't agree and wanted her to rest, but Li Mengyao insisted on joining in, or else she wouldn't let Lin Xian kiss her tonight. This was a killer for Lin Xian. He had no choice but to give Li Mengyao some very light work to do. Men and women worked together, and soon the house was cleaned up. Li Mengyao has been preparing for her graduation defense for the past few days. These two were still senior students and had to pass the graduation defense by their university supervisor before they could officially graduate. On the contrary, Lin Xian was acting like nothing, playing here and there. At night, Lin Xian was staring at his 70-inch big screen in the hall, and was watching a movie with great interest. Li Mengyao walked out of the room, hugged Lin Xian, and rested her chin on his shoulder, and couldn't help but ask curiously, "Hubby, you don't have to prepare for your graduation defense." Lin Xian looked at his lovely wife in his arms and couldn't help but lean over and kiss her on her soft face. "Your husband is not talented, because the previous performance is too good, has been exempted from the graduation defense, straight through graduation." Li Mengyao puffed up her cheeks and complained.
Ah, how so? Lin Xian couldn't stop smiling. Your husband is excellent, don't you know that?
Li Mengyao hooked her small hand around Lin Xian's neck and gently bit him on the face.
I know, husband, you're the best.
After saying that, she quickly pulled away and ran back to the room with her little legs clattering. Lin Xian touched the hidden teeth marks on his face, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Chapter 24. You've been laughing all this time, it hasn't even stopped. Soon it was the day of the graduation defense. The sun was shining brightly on this day, the air was fresh, the birds were singing happily in the branches, and seemed to be celebrating the graduating students. Li Mengyao's graduation defense was scheduled in the afternoon. In order to be in a good condition, she went for a lunch break after lunch. After a brief nap, she got up early and started to dress herself carefully. Just saw her put on a white as snow shirt, collar slightly open, revealing a long neck and delicate collarbone. Lower body with a long black skirt, the hem of the skirt with her steps gently swinging, like a dancing butterfly. A head of shiny black hair fell like a waterfall on her shoulders, emitting a faint fragrance. Li Mengyao walked in front of Lin Xian and lightly spun around, a bright smile hanging from the corner of her mouth as she asked, "Hubby, does this look good?" Lin Xian couldn't help but go forward and hug Li Mengyao, sniffing the charming fragrance emanating from her body. He said softly, "Good, my wife wears what all good." Li Mengyao was angry. "Slick. It's a good thing we're going." Lin Xian revealed his signature smile again. "Can I go in to watch your graduation defense?" Li Mengyao shook her head in a panic and said in a firm tone, "No. I won't be nervous. I'll be nervous. I'll be nervous." "Okay, stop messing around, we're going to be late." Lin Xian and Li Mengyao walked out of the room and came to the parking lot of the Golden Bay Mansion. Lin Xian still chose to drive his little black, the name Lin Xian gave to the Maybach. Not long after, Lin Xian drove the Maybach to the school's parking lot. Because Li Mengyao was majoring in Chinese language and literature, Lin Xian held Li Mengyao's little hand and went to the teaching building of the College of Literature, found the corresponding classroom, and looked inside. The first row in front sat 5 tutors, and the back was filled with panicked students. Lin Xian gently said to Li Mengyao, "Go, don't be nervous, I'll wait for you at the door." In fact, with Li Mengyao's 4 years of diligent study in college, dealing with this graduation defense is basically no pressure, but the face of 5 tutors to pick your faults, more or less still a little nervous. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian with a red face. "Well, kissing won't make you nervous." Lin Xian is also stunned. Today his wife so active? Then he wrapped his arms around Li Mengyao and gently kissed her on the forehead. "Go on." Li Mengyao revealed a smile and happily walked into the classroom. Really think Lin Xian would be so honest? He hadn't seen Li Mengyao's speech in the classroom yet, and Lin Xian revealed his signature smile again. Lin Xian returned to the parking lot and took out a black hat from the Maybach. After wearing the hat, Lin Xian once again returned to Li Mengyao's graduation defense room, sneaking into the classroom through the back door, sitting in the last row, hard to find without looking closely. Seeing Li Mengyao in front of him still closing her eyes and relaxing her nerves, Lin Xian picked up his cell phone and just snapped a shot. Missed this opportunity and it's gone. Who let him meet Li Mengyao only in the last stage of the university? After an unknown amount of time, Li Mengyao finally walked up to the podium. Different from the usual softness, Li Mengyao was quite confident on the podium. Her language was fluent and organized, her beautiful face was filled with a confident smile, and she won the high praise of the tutors present with her profound Chinese language and culture background and excellent expression ability. Lin Xian hurriedly took out his cell phone to take pictures. Worthy of being the school flower, long and beautiful, learning is also outstanding. Yeah, but I heard that the school flower seems to have a boyfriend. I'll be damned, what kind of freshman snatched our schoolgirl away? It seems to be our school. Lin Xian heard a few boys next to him discussing it, and the corners of their mouths were smiling. "Hey, classmate, what are you laughing at?" The boy next to him asked curiously. "Did I laugh?" Lin Xian laughed. "You've been laughing all this time, you haven't stopped." Another boy said. I remembered happy things. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth rose. "What's so funny? Let's hear it." At this time, Li Mengyao had already finished her graduation defense and returned to her place to pack up her things. Seeing his wife ready to come out, Lin Xian hurriedly skipped out. "I've got to go now, you guys go for it," he said. After saying that, he sneaked out of the back door of the classroom. "This person doesn't seem to be from our academy, right?" Strange, several people continued to discuss. Lin Xian, who walked out of the classroom, looked at his cell phone as if nothing had happened, and stood at the door waiting for Li Mengyao. His handsome stance was as upright as a pine, and his handsome face had a little smile that attracted the gazes of the girls around him. Finally, a girl couldn't help but go forward. "Hello classmate, can you add a contact to get to know each other?" This female classmate is quite sweet looking, with a petite figure and a charming smile. It's easy to make people feel good. "Sorry, I already have." Lin Xian just opened his mouth to refuse. Suddenly, a figure scurried to the side. Li Mengyao held Lin Xian's hand, eyes slightly cold. "Sorry classmate, he already has a girlfriend." The female classmate saw that it was the schoolgirl, and was eclipsed by the comparison, and slipped away.
Honey, is the graduation defense still going well?
Lin Xian smiled.
It didn't go well. As soon as I came out, I saw you with another girl. Li Mengyao's small face collapsed, full of unhappiness.
Injustice, ah wife, I just arrived at the classroom door not long ago, Lin Xian hurriedly cried out for wrongdoing.
Who knows about you?
Li Mengyao beamed with a serious look.
I have a way to prove my innocence.
Lin Xian said seriously.
What way?
Of course Li Mengyao had seen that girl go to Lin Xian first, but she still wanted to tease him. Lin Xian took out his cell phone and flipped out the photo of Li Mengyao that he had just secretly taken in the classroom. The Li Mengyao in the photo was beautiful and exuded an elegant temperament.
Ah! You're peeking again.
Li Mengyao only then realized that Lin Xian didn't know when he was wearing a black hat, not to mention that it was quite handsome. But she still couldn't be angry, and stretched out her small hand to strike at Lin Xian's waist. Lin Xian smoothly wrapped his arm around Li Mengyao. Pinch it, anyway, he has thick skin. I just want to see you in the classroom, experience what it's like to be in class with you, I won't have the chance later.
Lin Xian continued gently. After the graduation defense is the graduation ceremony, and you normally won't come back to class. Then you send me the photo.
Li Mengyao's cheeks reddened and she opened her mouth in a small voice, gently raising her head.
Good.
Lin Xian sent the picture to Li Mengyao, and by the way, he also sent it to a group chat of a loving family.
Zhang Shulan, my daughter-in-law is so beautiful.
Lin Zhenggui, worthy of being my son, his vision is the same as mine when I was young.
Lin Cici, is this my sister-in-law? Zhang Shulan, Cici, you play with your cell phone at school? Against you. Lin Cici, I'm sorry for sending the wrong one, I'm not Cici. Lin Xian, speechless expression.
At this time, just next to Lin Xian, discussed a few boys also came out of the classroom, saw the schoolgirl being held by a handsome boy, gritted his teeth. It seems that the news that the schoolgirl already has a boyfriend is true. Wait, no, isn't he the boy next to us just now who has been smiling?
Damn it, no wonder In has been snickering. Chapter 25. That's not my boyfriend, it's my husband. You just said that you want to experience what it's like to be in class with me, right?
Li Mengyao's eyes rolled, cocked her head, and smiled sweetly.
Yes. Lin Xian said. Then let's go to the school cafeteria for dinner, you and I haven't even eaten together at school.
Li Mengyao raised her nice eyebrows and arrogantly tilted her head. No, the ones outside aren't too clean. Lin Xian shook his head. Just once, besides the school should be clean, compared to the outside. Li Mengyao continued to be pampered.
Seeing that Lin Xian is still frowning and hesitating, Li Mengyao pulled Lin Xian by the arm.
Li Mengyao pulled Lin Xian's hand and started to advance towards the cafeteria. Let's go, I'm already hungry, if you don't go, I'll go alone. Lin Xian had no choice but to agree. Soon, the two of them arrived at the school's Meiyuan cafeteria, which had the best reputation. At this time, it's already dinner time, and the students of Jinghai University are coming to the cafeteria one after another. Auntie, I want a fried egg with tomato, another braised fish, another fried shrimp with broccoli, and finally 2 fried chicken legs. Auntie, please don't shake your hands, we are coming to the dining hall to eat for the last time in college. Li Mengyao was happy like a little kid, smilingly said.
Okay, Auntie will give you more. Auntie gave Li Mengyao a larger amount than usual.
Then Lin Xian also casually ordered a few dishes, and the two of them came to a corner of the dining hall and started to dry their rice.
This is delicious, I often came to Plum Garden to eat it before.
Saying that, Li Mengyao pinched half of the braised fish and a fried chicken leg into Lin Xian's bowl.
No wonder I haven't seen you much in college.
Lin Xian's dormitory and classroom were on the south side of the school, and he ate at the bamboo garden on the south side, while Li Mengyao was just the opposite, on the north side, and this plum garden was the cafeteria on the north side of the school. Jinghai University covers a large area, coupled with Lin Xian. This person is relatively lazy, eat enough will not go to the north side of the school.
But I've seen you before. Li Mengyao whispered.
What did you say, wife? Because there are more and more people in the cafeteria, Li Mengyao spoke in a very low voice, so she didn't hear it.
Nothing, come on, have a bite.
Li Mengyao chucked a piece of shrimp to Lin Xian's mouth, which was smothered by Lin Xian. Lin Xian also clamped a piece of braised pork to Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao small mouth to eat, only bit down half, the rest was swallowed by Lin Xian into the belly. The two of them had long since become the eating targets of the other students when they were feeding each other.
Look, isn't that the school beauty of our university? The one next to him is his boyfriend? Damn, my goddess has a boyfriend.
You don't say, that man is also quite handsome.
Handsome my ass, he doesn't deserve it.
Take a picture of it, send it to the campus intelligence network, and make that guy the public enemy of all the boys at Jinghai University.
Click.
The photo of the two feeding each other was sent to the campus intelligence network of Jinghai University.
Title, Shocked.
The school flower of Jinghai University and her boyfriend eating together in the dining hall.
Who is that dog man next to our school flower? The school flower has a boyfriend, my heart is broken.
It's just a boyfriend, I still have a chance, dog head.
Isn't that Lin Xianlin, the god of our computer school? Tomorrow the guys rush the computer college together?
While Lin Xian was eating his dinner, he felt countless hateful gazes at his back, making his back a little cold. At this time, Lin Xian's cell phone rang.
622 Rice Bucket Group. Zhou Quan, brother Xian, you've been exposed.
Zhong Zixing, remember to wear a mask at school in the future, kind reminder.
Chen Jingming, ha 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 brother Xian, you're finished. Lin Xian, what the hell is going on? Zhou Quan, pictures. It's the picture of Lin Xian and Li Mengyao just now.
Lost strategy in the future, I have to go back to school and keep a low profile. Li Mengyao saw that Lin Xian didn't take care of himself and kept looking at his cell phone, and snapped.
Lin Xian, what are you looking at? You don't even care about me.
I have become the public enemy of all the boys at Jinghai University. Lin Xian laughed helplessly.
Why Li Mengyao blinked in confusion.
You see, it's all because my wife is too pretty. Lin Xian took out his cell phone and flipped out the campus intelligence network to Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao covered her mouth and snorted with laughter.
Then there's nothing I can do to help you, you're on your own.
Soon, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao had their fill of dinner, and the two of them strolled around the campus holding hands. At this moment, Lin Xian was still looking worried, afraid that he would suddenly be swung down with a hammer from behind. He still believed in Li Mengyao's charm, he was afraid that very few could not stand the stimulation and go off the deep end.
Hubby, do you want me to help you?
Seeing that Lin Xian was still tense, Li Mengyao had been snickering.
How can you help? Lin Xian looked at Li Mengyao with an expectant face. Call me sister and I'll help you.
Li Mengyao pushed her hair behind her ear and smiled happily. She had seen Lin Xian's ID card. Although the two were born in the same year, Li Mengyao was a few months older than Lin Xian, and a few months was still big, so she had to call her sister.
Not called.
Lin Xian's rare little face is red. To his wife called sister, what kind of thing is this, too shameful.
I am bigger than you, call a sister how, you call a well. Li Mengyao beeped, pouting and cute. Call one and I will give you a reward.
Li Mengyao continued to raise the stakes, looking at Lin Xian with an expectant face.
Really?
Not only help you solve the school storm, but also get a reward, 2 birds with 1 stone. Li Mengyao walked up and hugged Lin Xian, raising her head with a slight smile. If you don't call me, I'll hug you and not leave. Lin Xian looked his reddened cheeks away and spoke softly from his mouth.
Sister. My brother is so good.
Li Mengyao's eyes curved with happiness as she stretched out her arms around Lin Xian's neck and kissed him on the lips before quickly withdrawing. Usually it was Lin Xian who made her shy, she didn't expect that she would win back again today, she was too happy.
Was this a reward?
Lin Xian touched his mouth.
Yeah, don't like it. Li Mengyao's elegant eyes blinked gently. I like it, it's just too short.
Lin Xian said gently.
Still in school it.
The two continued to wander in the school. Lin Xian also continued to receive the opposite side of the boy's hatred, seems to be more serious than just.
Wife, you just said not also help me? Lin Xian asked.
I helped you look at the school intelligence network. Li Mengyao pursed her lips and smiled. Lin Xian took out his cell phone and opened the school's information network, and immediately saw a comment that was top of the list, which was sent by Li Mengyao.
That's not my boyfriend, it's my husband. Chapter 26 Saved the Galaxy in a Previous Life. What? Already a husband? Firstborn fucking firstborn I don't have a chance, cry out loud.
Brothers, it's time to unite the front and flush this guy. Lin Xian looked at the campus intelligence network and his heart was cold.
Wife, you.
At this time, Li Mengyao took advantage of the fact that just now Lin Xian was looking at his cell phone and had sneaked to the front, looking at Lin Xian 10 steps at a time.
Honey, you still want to run?
Lin Xian started to run fast to catch up with Li Mengyao.
Don't you come over. Ha ha ha.
Li Mengyao saw things fall apart and also started to trot all the way forward. One running in front, one chasing behind. In the silent campus, there were two cheerful laughs. Because Li Mengyao was still pregnant, she didn't run fast, and Lin Xian easily caught up, hugged her, and tenderly said,
"Don't run around, be careful."
Li Mengyao straightened her scattered hair and revealed a charming smile. The campus at night, the flowers, plants and trees under the illumination of the moonlight, seemed particularly quiet and mysterious. On the campus during the graduation season, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao strolled hand in hand, each step filled with sweetness under the moonlight. After the graduation defense, after 3 or 4 days of Lin Xian's careful teaching, Li Mengyao can already drive skillfully in the city, plus Xiaomi Su7 has an automatic parking function, so there is no need to worry about not being able to park. Today, Li Mengyao's university dormitory is hosting a breakup dinner, which is also the last meal of the university graduation. They are all girls, so Lin Xian is embarrassed to follow them, so Li Mengyao will drive herself. When Lin Xian trained Li Mengyao to drive, he found that this niece learned to drive quite quickly and drove very steadily, and this kind of intelligent car, Xiaomi Su7, also has intelligent driving and emergency avoidance functions, so he also agreed.
"Hubby, I am going out."
Li Mengyao wore a simple white dress that emphasized her elegant temperament. Happily ran to Lin Xian, gently kissed him on the lips, and was about to leave, when he was backhanded by Lin Xian, crashed into his arms, and kissed the cherry mouth that was coated with a light lipstick.
"I don't know how long it took to come back early."
Lin Xian smiled playfully and said. Li Mengyao touched her own hot face and slightly red mouth, and when she left, she didn't forget to say back,
"Bad egg husband."
Li Mengyao came to the parking lot, walked to the Millet Su7 front, sat in the driver's seat, skillfully started the car, but also did not forget to take out a small mirror to make up for the lipstick, also that Lin Xian ate nothing. Soon, Li Mengyao came to the dormitory building of the University of the Capital C, picked up the 3 housemates who had not seen for a long time.
"Shen man, wow, Yao Yao, only a few months gone, you were driving a car, it's not cheap yet." "Yang Lin, yeah, come on, we even saw your high-profile confession yesterday."
Only the side of Lu Yusen know all this, but also followed along to flirt.
"Yes, we Yao Yao have a husband and forget about sisters."
Li Mengyao, who was teased by her roommates, turned slightly red and hurriedly changed the topic. "You guys stop talking, quickly decide where to eat, I'm hungry." "Hey, the one we ate at last time wasn't bad, but it seems like there's a new gourmet restaurant in the neighborhood."
"Oh no, I'm having trouble choosing. I think that one is better." "No, I think the other one is better."
Just like that, the 4 of them argued for 10 minutes in the car and finally decided by voting. On the other hand, Lin Xian had nothing to do at home, and thought that the luxury store given by the system hadn't opened yet, so he decided to go to the Golden Bay Plaza to post a job opening, and the first thing he wanted to do was to recruit a store manager. The store manager was responsible for everything in the store, including the operation of the restaurant, the recruitment of staff such as chefs and waiters, and the design of the decoration. In this way, Lin Xian can be a hands-off shopkeeper, peacefully as a boss. Lin Xian immediately drove his Maybach to Golden Bay Plaza and printed out a recruitment information before posting it on the entrance of the luxury store. Afterwards, Lin Xian felt that this way of recruiting people is too old-fashioned, and then put a job recruitment information in the cell phone recruitment app, monthly salary of 20,000 a month, pay 5 insurance and 1 gold.
This condition should be able to attract a lot of people.
After everything was taken care of, Lin Xian drove his car home. On the other hand, Li Mengyao and her 3 best sisters were eating together. Li Mengyao told her roommates about what had happened in the past few months, but of course the pregnancy was not mentioned.
"Ah, your boyfriend is also too good," Yang Lin exclaimed.
"Yes, he is good looking, he cooks every day and he is very devoted."
Shen Man chimed in.
Only Lu Yusen was silent because she knew what was going on, although Lin Xian was indeed very nice.
"Hey Yao Yao, it's not even a marriage, why are you calling your husband? Did he propose to you?" Lu Yusen still couldn't help but ask.
"Not yet, I got used to it after calling him."
Li Mengyao's cheeks instantly blushed. "You're really a big fan, my big Yao Yao,"
Shen Man said with a smile.
"I remember you had a crush on him when you were a freshman, now you have finally realized your dream."
"Right, Yao Yao, this kind of good man is very popular, you have to keep a close eye on him,"
Yang Lin reminded. "Aha." Li Mengyao nodded shyly. "Can you not keep a close eye on it?"
"The child is already there, my Yao Yao just like this became someone else's." Lu Yusen inwardly powerless to spit.
Well, we have finally graduated, wish us a bright future."
Cheers.
The four little girls took their drinks and made a toast.
After Li Mengyao and her good sisters had eaten and drank their fill, Li Mengyao sent them back to the dormitory and then drove to Golden Bay Plaza with a kick of the gas to a jewelry store. Lin Xian was indeed too easy to attract butterflies, and he had met one at the classroom door yesterday, so he had to find something to prove that he was famous.
So Li Mengyao thought of men's rings. "Welcome, beautiful, how can I help you?" A tall, fair-looking clerk walked up. That's right, this was the jewelry store where Lin Xian had bought the diamond ring before, and even the clerk was the same person. "Hello, do you have any men's rings to recommend?" Li Mengyao asked in a low voice. "Yes, please follow me." The clerk guided Li Mengyao to a display case on one side.
Men's rings were displayed in the showcase, shining brightly, each one exuding a unique charm. Soon enough, Li Mengyao fell in love with a men's ring, which was simple yet delicate in design, with a unique design, showing low-key luxury and elegance.
"Hello, hold this one for me."
Li Mengyao raised her little finger and pointed.
"Good beauty."
The clerk then took out this men's ring and handed it to Li Mengyao.
"Beauty, you have a good eye. This is the latest design of the new models, so it is very in line with the aesthetics of young people."
Li Mengyao left to look at the right, in their own little hand back and forth to play. "It is very good looking."
"How much is this model?"
"A total of 1088.88. Li Mengyao bit her teeth when she heard the price, and after a slight hesitation, she still paid.
"Good, thank you, welcome to the next visit."
The clerk packaged the goods with a smile on her face, thinking which man is so happy to have such a beautiful girl to buy him a ring, saved the galaxy in his previous life.
Chapter 27. I'm afraid that you intentionally left a part of.
Li Mengyao drove back to the Golden Bay house. Came to the door of the house, stretched out his small hand, fingerprints unlocked after. Lin Xian watched a movie on the living room, saw his wife come back, just wanted to open his mouth.
"Wife, you go back too."
Li Mengyao flickered, quickly trotted back to the room.
Lin Xian popped up a big question mark. What is the wife hiding? Mysterious.
Li Mengyao hid the ring she had just bought, let out a long breath, patted her small face, and only then walked out of the room.
"Hubby, I am back.
Just now, I panicked and hid something." Lin Xian pulled Li Mengyao and held her in his arms.
Li Mengyao's pupils suddenly burst.
Li Mengyao's pupils suddenly shrunk for a moment, and her eyes flashed with obvious nervousness.
"It's really nothing?"
Lin Xian reveals his signature smile. "That's a girl's secret, you're not allowed to know."
Li Mengyao's elegant eyes gently blinked. "That's fine."
Lin Xian saw that his wife refused to say, there was nothing he could do, so he just hugged and watched a movie together in the hall. After watching the movie, it was already 11 p.m., and the two returned to their room to sleep. The next day, a phone call while still be sleeping. Lin Xian woke up, in order not to disturb his wife to sleep, Lin Xian out of the room to answer the phone. "Brother Xian, did you wake up from your nap, hee?"
Zhou Quan asked. "Quaner, what are you doing calling early in the morning?"
Lin Xian is a little puzzled. Generally between their brothers are sending messages, unless there is something 100,000 urgent things to call. But as soon as he heard Zhou Quan's laugh, he knew that there was definitely nothing wrong.
"Brother Xian, are you preparing to open a restaurant in Golden Bay Plaza?" Zhou Quan continued to ask.
"Yes, how did you know?" Lin Xian sobered up a little. "I saw in the recruitment software, Brother Xian, you have a candidate for the store manager."
"Why are you asking?" "Brother Xian, I want to apply for." Lin Xian a little shocked. Zhou Quan is not to take the civil service to go? Didn't you take the civil service exam? Why do you want to go into business? It's not that I didn't pass the exam, I realized that civil servants are so damn voluminous nowadays. You don't know, I scored 80 points and didn't even get in the interview. I heard that the first 89 points, Xian brother you say, these people are more perverted Zhou Quan beeping complained. "Quaner, can you do it Lin Xian some questioned. "Surely, my family is doing restaurant, Xian brother, if you do not interview me." Zhou Quan is confident that he will be able to do it. "That line, I also have a period of time did not look for you, that old place, in the school near the cafe and so on." Lin Xian see their own brother so confident, or go to see it, and know the routes, may be really suitable. "Okay, Brother Xian, I will go to order good coffee and wait for you," Zhou Quan said happily. Hang up the phone. Lin Xian wash after returning to the room, see Li Mengyao is still asleep, walked up in that clean as jade forehead, gently kiss. "I'm going out for a while, wife." Good. Li Mengyao's eyelashes fluttered slightly, and she responded in a daze.
Afterwards, Lin Xian walked out of the house, came to the parking lot, and drove the Maybach in the direction of the school. Soon, Lin Xian arrived at the cafe near the school, and after parking the car, just after entering the door, he saw Zhou Quan waving there with a happy face.
Brother Xian, over here. Lin Xian came and sat down opposite Zhou Quan. Lin Xian, you're interviewing me. Zhou Quan suddenly said with a serious face.
Mr. Zhou Quan, I'm very happy that you're here to apply for the job of store manager. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Lin Xian also began to look at Zhou Quan seriously. After asking some simple knowledge about restaurant operations.
I'm going to go, you're really something for a kid.
Lin Xian was a bit surprised, because he didn't know much about this either. That's why he was planning to find a store manager to manage it, and be a shirker himself. Hey, Brother Xian, have you forgotten? My family has always been a restaurant. Since I was a kid I've been doing odd jobs in my own family's restaurant.
Don't think that I don't know how to cook. I can make a 9 turns large intestine for you to try. It's absolutely delicious. Zhou Quan proudly said. No, I'm afraid that you intentionally left part of it. Alright then, it's on you.
Lin Xian smiled.
Thank you, Brother Xian. So when do I go to work? Zhou Quan was very happy.
When the renovations are done, I'll give you a renovation payment after a while, and then you'll first renovate the restaurant. As for your salary, the restaurant is profitable, we split it 30/70ths, I 7, you 3, if you lose I'm still according to 20,000 per month salary to you.
Really?
Xian brother, you are too good to me. Zhou Quan happy almost jumped up. You don't want to be too happy too early, the restaurant is profitable, we all have money to earn, if the loss is too much, I will fire you, and then sell the restaurant. Lin Xian still want to run this restaurant properly, but will not be stupid enough to do a loss-making business. First let Zhou Quan try, really can't lose, can still sell, anyway, is the system for nothing, a steady profit.
Brother Xian, you can rest assured, I will definitely do a good job with the restaurant. The two continue to chat a little, chatting and spitting. Brother Xian, why do you think I've been so backward lately? I recently had 6 consecutive big bailouts from Yuanshan, and I am really convinced.
Lin Xian heard this and choked on the coffee he just drank and almost sprayed it out.
Cough that, Quaner, I think you should change your game. How come you also told me to change the game? Brother Jingming also said the same thing.
No, turn around and I'll do it again, Brother Xian, then I'll go back first and try to rush out the restaurant plan tomorrow.
Good.
Zhou Quan then went back to the school dormitory. Lin Xian saw that the time was still early, so he continued to look at his cell phone while slowly finishing the coffee in his hand. Well, at this point in time, the little lazy bums have almost gotten up, so it's time to go back. Just as Lin Xian just walked out of the cafe and was about to leave, a familiar figure appeared in front of Lin Xian. It was his ex-girlfriend Yi Zixuan. Yi Zixuan and Lin Xian in the same session, freshman began because Lin Xian handsome, so crazy pursuit of Lin Xian. After talking about less than half a year, Lin Xian cannot stand Yi Zixuan's love of vanity and choose to break up. At this time Yi Zixuan has an outstanding appearance, wearing a white shirt with a black skirt, looks particularly demonic. Lin Xian some surprise, he did not expect to meet Yi Zixuan here. Yi Zixuan also saw Lin Xian, a hint of arrogance flashed in her eyes. Lin Xian didn't have any lingering feelings for Yi Zixuan, and after a glance he wanted to leave directly.
What a coincidence, Lin Xian. Yi Zixuan was the first to speak. Well, quite a coincidence indeed. Lin Xian's tone was calm. How have you been? Yi Zixuan tried to exchange pleasantries. Good or bad has nothing to do with Ms. Yi, right? Lin Xian responded indifferently. Is that how you treat your first love? You're graduating soon, did you find a good job?
By the way, my current boyfriend is the leader of a technology company, and the wages and treatment are very good.
Seeing as we know each other, I can help you if you want to go.
Yi Zixuan began to show off her boyfriend to suppress Lin Xian. She just can't get used to the fact that Lin Xian doesn't have any money and still has a lofty look.
Then congratulations.
Lin Xian just coldly returned a sentence and left without looking back.
Chapter 28 I believe in you.
Lin Xian didn't pay much attention to Yi Zixuan, directly walked to the Maybach parked on the side and started the car to leave. When the car passed by the cafe, Yi Zixuan happened to have finished buying coffee, and had just walked out when she saw a dark and slender Maybach drive past. The key saw that it was Lin Xian who was driving the car, which made Yi Zixuan very shocked. When did Lin Xian drive a luxury car? Freshman year did not see that he was a rich family. On second thought, it is very likely that Lin Xian rented the car. The heart again despise him, what to pretend?
Lin Xian bought today's ingredients on his way home.
Soon, Lin Xian returned to the Golden Bay house, just opened the door, a figure jumped into Lin Xian's arms.
Hubby, welcome home. A trace of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face. I'm back, did you eat the breakfast I left for you? Lin Xian touched Li Mengyao's little brain. Eat it, hubby. I realized that your cooking skills are getting better and better.
You even made my mom's flavor.
Li Mengyao continued to stick
to Lin Xian's side.
Of course, while you go to the living room and watch some drama, I'll go to the kitchen and prepare lunch.
Afterwards, Lin Xian dives into the kitchen and starts to get busy, and Li Mengyao obediently returns to the living room to brush up on her drama.
In a short while, Lin Xian had prepared 3 dishes and a soup. The aroma was full.
Wife, let's eat.
Li Mengyao came to the dining room. Li Mengyao came to the dining room, next to Lin Xian, enjoying lunch together.
Honey, you know, my roommate Zhou Quan came to apply for the job as our restaurant manager, Lin Xian said while giving Li Mengyao some food.
Ah? Is that the cute boy you saw in the hospital last time?
Li Mengyao recalled. Well, his family has always been in the restaurant business, so he's familiar with this area, so I'm going to give him the job.
Lin Xian discussed with his wife. Just decide, I don't have any opinions.
Li Mengyao felt a warmth in her heart. It seemed like Lin Xian cared about her so much that he would consult her opinion.
Not long after, the two of them ate their lunch and watched a drama together on the sofa in the hall, and when they got sleepy, they went back to the house to rest.
Lin Xian lay down next to Li Mengyao, and after thinking about it, he decided to tell her.
Honey, actually, after I went out to meet Zhou Quan, I also met someone.
Li Mengyao raised her head, her charming eyes looking at Lin Xian.
Who else did you meet? I'm my ex-girlfriend. Lin Xian didn't want to hide it from her and confessed. Then what?
Li Mengyao heart-thumped, lowered her head, and the mood that had just been pleasurable was instantly low. She was aware that Lin Xian had a girlfriend in his freshman year, so now Lin Xian and his ex said something. Will Lin Xian come back to his heart? Will he leave her behind? The emotional fluctuations of a pregnant woman are strong, and her eyes gushed while she was imagining nonsense. Lin Xian quickly realized that his wife was out of sorts, reached out and gently hugged Li Mengyao tightly, relifting her pretty head, forehead against forehead. With 4 eyes facing each other, one could see that Li Mengyao's eyes were already slightly reddened. Honey, sorry, I didn't talk to her much in the morning, just very cold to her. My freshman year was because I was young and ignorant, plus she was stalking me, so I went out with her, but it was only for less than half a year, and I found out that she was really vain, so I broke up with her right away, and really nothing happened.
Lin Xian explained sincerely.
Li Mengyao twisted her head not to look at him, knowing that she thought too much. Seriously, think about Lin Xian is not that kind of person, but the heart is a kind of indescribable hard to say.
Really nothing happened? Really?
Lin Xian answered without hesitation. Then you and she have not kissed? Li Mengyao once again looked at Lin Xian and asked in a low voice.
No, my first kiss was for you.
Lin Xian continued to hold her tightly and said gently. Li Mengyao didn't play small after hearing this, hugging Lin Xian back and burying her head into Lin Xian's sturdy chest.
Thank you for confessing this to me. In fact, I actually fell in love with you in my freshman year, so I know that you have an ex. Ah? When was it? How come I don't know? Ah?
Lin Xian felt very surprised. So to say, his wife liked me for almost 4 years? I was peeping at you from afar at that time, so of course my stupid husband didn't know. Li Mengyao continued to be smothered in Lin Xian's arms, her voice glutinous.
In fact, Li Mengyao in the freshman year like Lin Xian, in addition to Lin Xian handsome, outstanding ability, there is a little-known secret. Once Lin Xian saved her. Li Mengyao in the freshman year began to do part-time tutoring. One night, because of tutoring time extended, in order to catch up in the door time back to the school, Li Mengyao walked once the path, but just by the 2 punks stared at. Just when Li Mengyao fell into the just when Li Mengyao was in despair, Lin Xian, who happened to be passing by at this time, solved the problem for Li Mengyao, and she still remembers clearly the way Lin Xian and the 2 punks fought together. After solving the 2 punks, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao out of the path and left in a hurry.
At that time, Li Mengyao was wearing a mask, plus the darkness of the night, so Lin Xian didn't recognize it was Li Mengyao. Honey, I swear, if I treat you and the babies badly in the future, the sky will beat. Lin Xian stretched out 3 fingers and prepared to swear. Suddenly Li Mengyao raised her head and blocked Lin Xian with those tantalizing lips. I don't know how long it took for the 2 lips to separate. No, you are not allowed to swear, I believe you.
How can you not love such a wife?
Lin Xian silently hugged Li Mengyao, and the 2 of them sank into a sweet dream. In the afternoon, Li Mengyao woke up from her nap and began to study the books compiled by teachers, preparing to be a teacher in the future. Lin Xian, on the other hand, quietly watched his wife daze.
Ding dong, Lin Xian opened his cell phone. It was from Zhou Quan.
Brother Xian, take a look at my freshly baked planner.
Good guy, Quan Air is so efficient?
Lin Xian carefully looked at it once, and felt that Zhou Quan really does have two brushes.
Brother Xian, isn't it time to prepare for the renovation money? Haha. You wait for me in the dormitory. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that.
Lin Xian got up, quickly changed his clothes, walked to Li Mengyao's front, and kissed her on the face.
Honey, I'm going out, and Zhou Quan that kid to see the restaurant decoration design. Go go go.
Li Mengyao's small face read, just now still lying in bed, less than a few minutes to change clothes, boys change clothes really so fast? Soon, Lin Xian drove a Maybach and parked under the dormitory building of Jinghai University.
Brother Xian, I'm here.
Zhou Quan ran all the way over, opened the car door and sat in the passenger side.
Ah, luxury car cushions is cool. Ah. Zhou Quan face enjoyment. Don't this is for you.
After saying this, Lin Xian handed Zhou Quan a coupon. Zhou Quan took a look at it. It was a restaurant decoration redemption coupon.
What the hell is this? Is it real or fake? Zhou Quan was skeptical.
Of course it's real. We're going to go to the restaurant decoration company in Jinghai City right now to take a look.
This can work. Zhou Quan has not seen to take a piece of broken paper can exchange decoration.
I've never seen the ability to exchange a piece of paper for a decoration. Lin Xian did not give Zhou Quan the chance to continue doubting, started the car and drove out.
Now that he is 100% confident in the system, is it hard to give him empty redemption coupons?
Ding dong, warm reminder, this store decoration redemption coupon can be used at the most upscale decoration companies. The long-lost system sound rang again.
Chapter 29. You deserve to die.
Soon, Lin Xian drove the Maybach to the Jinghai City Restaurant Brand Design Company. After parking the car, Lin Xian and Zhou Quan walked into the door of the design company. Worthy of being the best restaurant design company in Jinghai City, the company's reception area is spacious and bright, and the decoration is elegant and luxurious, showing the luxurious atmosphere of the reception area.
Welcome to the two of you. May I ask if you are here to design and decorate?
A young woman with a tall figure, elegant temperament, and a professional outfit came forward to greet them.
Yes, we would like to consult about the restaurant decoration.
Lin Xian replied politely. The young woman smiled and nodded. Okay, please follow me. Let me first introduce you two to some of our company's design cases and styles. Saying that, she led Lin Xian and Zhou Quan to the display area. There were all sorts of beautiful design drawings and renderings on display in the display area, and Lin Xian and Zhou Quan were carefully looking at them while the young saleswoman was carefully introducing them.
Do you have any requirements for the design of your restaurant? The young saleswoman asked.
The young saleswoman asked. We hope that the restaurant's decoration can reflect a stylish, comfortable atmosphere, but also have a unique personality.
Lin Xian said. Then how many square feet is your restaurant? Where is the location?
The young woman continued to ask while carefully recording her notes.
Our restaurant is 150 square feet, in Golden Bay Plaza. Lin Xian said.
The young female saleswoman was slightly shocked, and her recording of notes stopped.
Golden Bay Plaza?
That is a place where every inch of land is gold. There is also a large area of 150 square feet. The two of you look very young, so young to start a business. It is very admirable. The young woman quickly regained her demeanor and continued to say. Then she recommended several suitable design styles based on Lin Xian's restaurant, and described the characteristics and advantages of each style in detail.
Zhou Quan, which one do you think is more suitable?
These Lin Xian wasn't particularly clear on, so he left it to Zhou Quan. This style looks good, we can learn more about the specific design details.
Zhou Quan said.
After chatting about the various details, it came to the most stressful part of the payment.
Please come over here to pay, both of you.
The young saleswoman kept her smile.
Go ahead and take this redemption coupon to her.
Lin Xian said with a smile.
Brother Xian, are you serious? Is this really going to work?
Zhou Quan was skeptical. This Lin Xian won't screw me over because he doesn't have any money.
When have I ever lied to you? Go.
Lin Xian is holding back a smile.
Have you cheated? Lest Zhou Quan inwardly spat. I have no choice but to go on with my head. You hello, is it okay to use this?
Zhou Quan apprehensively handed over the store decoration redemption coupon in his hand. This is the latest luxury decoration redemption coupon issued by the head office this year.
The young female saleswoman directly froze.
There are only 5 in the whole country, and I didn't expect to come across one here. The head office had said that anyone who came across that volume to redeem it would be received according to the highest level of specifications. Zhou Quan looked at the frozen salesman in front of him and felt that he was the one who was too odd. Instantly his face turned red.
Brother Xian, I told you I couldn't. Look, I'm humiliated.
At this time, Lin Xian also smiled and came over, asking,
Hello, can I exchange it please? The young saleswoman then reacted, hurriedly apologized. Sorry, 2 VIPs, just hospitality is not good. Shall Li, you hurry to the 2 to a cup of coffee, and then take some snacks over to the highest specifications of the kind. Really very sorry, please follow me this way.
The young saleswoman brought Lin Xian and Zhou Quan to the other side of the reception center, where the reception area was luxurious, with gorgeous carpets and sparkling crystal chandeliers, as well as luxurious leather sofas and huge LCD TVs, creating a luxurious atmosphere.
Soon, 2 cups of magnificent summer coffee with a floral aroma and a small French dessert were handed to Lin Xian and Zhou Quan.
Zhou Quan was stunned by everything in front of him, the contrast was too big. 2 VIPs, this redemption coupon has been successfully used. We will help you with the highest specification decoration and the fastest speed.
May I ask what other services are required?
This time the one who came was not the young saleswoman just now, but also the general manager of this branch. He is a middle-aged man with an even figure, and his face reveals the traces of age while his eyes are full of sharpness.
Nothing, I will contact you if there is, thank you.
Lin Xian smiled.
Okay, this is my business card, welcome to visit again.
After saying that, the middle-aged man handed Lin Xian a business card. He was also very surprised why a person who still looked like a college student would have this redemption role. It must be which family's child it should be. After a while, the 2 of them, who had eaten and drunk enough, walked out of the design company and returned to the Maybach's car, ready to go back.
Brother Xian, how did you do it? Zhou Quan still couldn't help but ask.
Quaner, less prying into the affairs of adults, you just do your store manager properly.
Che, don't say it or don't say it. By the way, this is for you, you see what problems with the decoration directly to him. Lin Xian will just general manager's business card to Zhou Quan. Okay, brother Xian, where are we going now? Do you want us to go outside and have a meal? Zhou Quan said happily. I fish.
Lin Xian toned firm.
Ah. I fish and go home to cook for your wife. You really damn ah.
Lin Xian saw that it was also late, so he invited Zhou Quan to go home and eat with him.
Do you want to come to my house to eat together? Good, brother Xian, you are the best.
Lin Xian opened his cell phone to Li Mengyao to say that Zhou Quan was coming to eat with him, and then drove to the food market to buy a dragon lily and a pangolin, preparing to make a pangolin pancake and garlic vermicelli dragon lily tonight. The 2 quickly returned to the Golden Bay house. Zhou Quan thought that what happened during the day was enough to shock him, but he didn't realize that Lin Xian was still living in the luxurious Golden Bay house.
Zhou Quan was slowly getting used to it.
Lin Xian and Zhou Quan arrived at the door of their home, unlocked and opened the door, and saw that Li Mengyao was already standing in front of them, smiling and saying, "Welcome home."
I am back.
At this time, Li Mengyao had already changed into a simple blue home dress, radiating an elegant temperament.
Hello sister-in-law, my name is Zhou Quan, I am Lin Xian's roommate. Zhou Quan greeted with a smile. Hello, come on in. Li Mengyao poured Zhou Quan a drink.
Zhou Quan looked around Lin Xian's home, luxurious neighborhood, luxurious large flat, luxurious decoration. Ugh, really envious and jealous, but can't hate it, after all it's still his own boss.
Quaner, come help in the kitchen.
Zhou Quan just sat down, not long was called to work, although the heart cursed, but still helpless to go.
Zhou Quan, can you really do whatever you want with money?
Lin Xian, sorry it really can.
Chapter 30 Wife Too Charming.
Zhou Quan was helping Lin Xian in the kitchen, washing dishes while Lin Xian was busy burning vegetables.
I can't imagine that Xian really knows how to cook. Zhou Quan watched in awe.
Soon, 4 dishes in one soup were served: pangolin cakes, garlic vermicelli lobster, sweet and sour pork and celery tofu soup.
Honey, let's eat. Here we go.
Li Mengyao happily came and sat next to Lin Xian, while Zhou Quan was on the other side and Lin Xian was sandwiched in the middle. Today, there are new products again. Li Mengyao revealed a smile. Li Mengyao reveals a smile. Lin Xian picked up a piece of fish cake and put it in Li Mengyao's bowl.
Yummy! Li Mengyao's eyes are all smiles. Hubby, you try it too.
Li Mengyao also picked up a piece and put it in Lin Xian's bowl. Zhou Quan felt redundant at this time. Had I known that I wouldn't come, I was already full before I even ate the meal.
But Xian's cooking does smell good, taste it. Zhou Quan also clamped up a piece of fish and stuffed it into his mouth, and froze as if his soul was out of his body. This fish was tender and juicy, melting in the mouth, and every bite was filled with fresh flavor. It was really delicious. This was the most delicious fish he had ever eaten since he was a child. What else is there to recruit a chef for? Brother Xian is a chef. Brother Xian, this is too delicious. I don't think there's a need to recruit a chef, you'll be the chef. Zhou Quan came back to his senses and marveled. No, I'm going to stay home with my wife and child, otherwise what do I need you as a store manager for? Lin Xian continued to feed Li Mengyao. Zhou Quan was fed another wave of dog food. Then his brain turned, hey, there. Sister-in-law, do you want to know about Xian's scandalous affairs in the dormitory? Zhou Quan said with a thieving smile. What's the scandal? What scandalous things? Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes picked up, expressing curiosity. Don't look at Brother Xian like he's not afraid of anything, but he's actually very afraid of spiders, even a very small spider, he's scared to death. Once, a small spider, really small, smaller than a thumb, crawled on Xian. He jumped up in fear, flung it back and forth, and finally begged me to help him find it. And also, I once, because of playing games pit Xian brother, he joined forces with his roommates and almost took off my pants. Zhou Quan, this's behavior belongs to kill the enemy 800, self-loss of 1,000. And in the past, Lin Xian liked to peep at the beauty on the road. Well. Lin Xian quickly covered Zhou Quan's mouth with his hand. Don't talk nonsense, wife, there is no such thing. At first Li Mengyao was still smiling, and then her eyes went slightly cold. I'm not sure if it's true, but I'm sure it is. Of course it's not true, Zhou Quan is joking, isn't he? Lin Xian let go of Zhou Quan and pressed one hand hard on his shoulder. Only to see Zhou Quan's brows furrowed, slowly opening his mouth. Yes, sister-in-law, I just joked, ha. Sister-in-law is so good looking, of course my brother Xian won't peek at other beauties. Lin Xian picked up a piece of ribs and stuffed it into Zhou Quan's mouth, his eyes sharp. Shut your stinking mouth and eat properly. Soon, the three of them had a full dinner, and after Lin Xian had Zhou Quan brush the dishes, he drove the Maybach to send him back to the school dormitory. Lin Xian returned to the Golden Bay mansion and saw that Li Mengyao had already gone back to her room to rest, so he also hurried to the bathroom to take a shower. After taking a shower, Lin Xian came to the door of his room and tried to open it, but found that the door was locked. Honey, why did you lock the door? Let me in. Lin Xian shouted outside. Do not open the door to you, the bad man who peeps at beautiful women. Li Mengyao's voice came from the room. Lin Xian scolded Zhou Quan at this time, and in the future he must deduct his salary. Wife wrong, is Zhou Quan they tricked me to see. Lin Xian cried out for injustice. After saying this, Lin Xian heard light footsteps and the sound of unlocking the door. The wife opened the door. Lin Xian hurriedly opened the door and walked in. At this time Li Mengyao had quickly returned to the bed and lay down, her back facing him. Lin Xian also climbed onto the bed and lay next to Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao suddenly turned around, her four eyes facing each other, a pair of beautiful eyes staring at Lin Xian. How was it a lie? It was when they suddenly said, look, there seems to be something over there. I then looked over along with it, only to realize that I had fallen for their trick. Lin Xian patiently explained. Why did they tease you like that? The corner of Li Mengyao's mouth lifted slightly. Because I was like wood at that time, I had a nickname called Lin Mutu. Lin Xian smiled. Really, why don't I feel like you're like a woodhead, and you always move to kiss me? Li Mengyao snorted and laughed. Li Mengyao actually wasn't angry to begin with, she just wanted to tease Lin Xian. If she was really angry, she wouldn't have opened the door for him. That's not because my wife is too charming, I can't help it. Lin Xian reached out to Li Mengyao, gently hugged in his arms, savoring the light fragrance. Smooth talker, well, I'm going to sleep. Li Mengyao obediently hugged Lin Xian tightly, the whole person hangs on Lin Xian body. Good night, wife. Lin Xian left a kiss on Li Mengyao's forehead, and then fell into dreamland together. A week later, Jinghai University held a graduation ceremony. The sun shines brightly, the wind and sunshine are beautiful. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao stepped into the campus of Jinghai University with excitement and anticipation. It was green and fragrant with flowers, filled with a strong academic atmosphere. Holding hands, they walked through the boulevard of the campus and arrived at the graduate dressing room. There was a brand new bachelor's degree uniform neatly placed in the room, and Li Mengyao put on a set of black robe for Lin Xian. Lin Xian put on a quadrangular cap and tied a bow tie for Li Mengyao. The two of them looked at each other and smiled, their eyes full of longing for the future.
Wearing a bachelor's degree suit, Lin Xian elegant, extraordinary temperament, handsome figure in the sunlight looks particularly compelling. Wearing a bachelor's degree suit, Li Mengyao beautiful, elegant and generous, beautiful posture has become a bright landscape in the campus. The two came to the Century Square located in the center of the campus. This square is spacious and spectacular, surrounded by magnificent teaching buildings and beautiful flower beds. In the center of the square stood a tall sculpture and a solemn school motto, symbolizing the inheritance of knowledge and wisdom. Standing in the center of the square, Lin Xian tightly embraced Li Mengyao, with his four eyes facing each other and his forehead pressed against each other. Lin Xian felt her warm body and gentle breathing. At this moment, the reluctant Zhou Quan came in front of the two. "Stand still, just like this, don't move." Zhou Quan took out his camera, adjusted the angle, pressed the shutter, and recorded this beautiful moment. Although it was not beautiful for him. "Quan Air, a few more," Lin Xian said to Zhou Quan. Got it. In the future, if I'm propped up, I'll be fed by you guys." Immediately after, Lin Xian gently kissed Li Mengyao's polished jade-like forehead, and Li Mengyao closed her eyes in happiness. The hitman Zhou Quan once again came online, raised his camera, adjusted the angle, and again photographed this beautiful moment.